Welcome back to another episode of Vegas Views. Dawn Sullivan, and guys, I am so epically excited about this. If you guys have been logging on, you know that I haven't had Danny with me in quite a few weeks here. Danny, welcome back.
I'm back. They probably thought I was canceled, right? I'm sure everybody thought I was canceled.
I kid you not. My Instagram for 2 consecutive weeks, and I didn't really want to say whether you were coming back, whether you were on, whether you were guesting on the show, but I had so many women saying to me, is Danny no longer on the show? What happened to Danny? Then they asked, was it the Biden stuff? And it wasn't because he went off on Joe Biden 4 consecutive episodes and got us canceled. Absolutely not. No, guys, that's not what happened to the show. Danny did not get us canceled. I am so ecstatic. I haven't seen Danny too, so just to share with you guys, I'm just as excited as you are. You have to tell me, first of all, I know you have a lot of stuff going on, a lot of stuff in the mix. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Life's the best.
You look really good.
As you can see, I'm kayaking, fishing again.
Yeah.
You see my Facebook,
Yeah,
right?
you're living life.
And that's what I'm probably going to do after the show, too. So it's going to be 90 degrees all week. I'm fishing and
Slightly
kayaking all week.
jealous. You guys all know I've been in my studio. I'm ramping up movies, IMTA. I've got stuff going on in here every day. I'm like, oh, living vicariously through you as he's fishing.
And
but I do want to get on the boat with you guys.
Yes, listen, I've been telling Maria, our producer here, I've been telling them I'm going to take them out on a boat in Lake Mead.
Yes.
All expenses paid, and they never show up.
Well, that's the thing, because I'm in my studio with all this stuff, and I'm like, oh, I want to be there. And you guys found an island?
Yes, we love it. We
Yeah.
love it. And what we call it our island. We put,
Yeah.
like I said, I put my flag there. Did you see I solved the crime there?
I did.
I solved the
saw
crime.
it.
The coyote attacked the duck, and that video went to 10,000. That was good.
Yeah. So, TikTok life for you.
TikTok's-
Amazing. I see it. You're like everywhere. Every time I scroll, you're there with my news.
You know what? I'm pushing. To me, I'm pushing 250,000 now. So I always say 250,000.
Nice.
It sounds bad. I got 250,000 followers. That's what it sounds.
I use that with Instagram too. I said I have 250,000. I don't. I have like 181 impressions.
But I don't know how the hell you did that. Instagram is
It's
so
not me. I will tell you guys something.
I
I
don't-
just have a lot of people that follow me that are like names in the business.
I know
Like,
what you mean.
Kanye West follows her. They're all going to
And
follow.
I understand.
And then also keep in mind, I'm posting beautiful male and female models
That's
all day
true.
long.
That's true.
So it's like, follow. If it was just me, it'd be like, who's this lady? Occasionally I post a picture. I get like, 8,000 likes. A model gets like 150,000 likes.
Right,
So-
right. No, but I mean, I'll tell you what, I'm impressed with your studio. I was only there
Thank you.
once, but I'll tell you what, if I was an actor, if I was a model,
Yeah.
that's the studio I would
I
go
lost
to.
my butt in that studio.
Yeah, I mean,
We are doing really, really good there. Like I said, we just filmed some, we're working on some movies and we've got a lot of stuff going on, but we've implemented some new stuff. So Wednesday night, this was not my idea. It was my assistant, Gracie. She was like, we've got to dance. And I'm like, okay, no, we don't have to dance. But we brought in hip hop dancing. So
Okay.
Wednesday night, it's like lit. It's like,
oh, at your studio. I gotta come one of these
it was
Wednesdays.
so much fun.
All right.
Yeah, so there's some new stuff we're implementing now, but I appreciate you recognizing all the hard work I put in. I haven't left that place since January, but I'm excited. I love it. Things are great. More about you, though.
I got a funny one. And you guys are going to love this. Again, it's Olivia busting my ass,
Okay.
like she always does. We go to the Jimmy Kimmel comedy show up there
Sure,
in the Strip,
sure.
right? We went to see Michael Yo, and something like that.
Yeah.
He's an actor, a comedian. He, honestly, God, he's great. If you ever go to the Jimmy Kimmel comedy show, it's worth it. It's like $30. It's
Yeah.
worth it. Honestly, the price is right. and
Again, guys, not a paid partnership.
No.
I've got to tell you that because everybody thinks we're a paid partnership here. We're not paid partnership. Jimmy Kimmel.
I actually hate him, to be honest with you.
See, I knew that about
I
you.
hate
just,
Jimmy
as you were
Kimmel's
saying
guts.
it, I'm thinking he hates Jimmy. Why?
Come on. He is the most hypocrite I've ever seen in my life. He made it famous on The Man Show. He had girls jumping on trampolines, and now he's this big liberal. Oh, this is disgusting. And every day it's
I
about
know.
Trump. And it's
I
I can't
know.
stomach the guy.
I know.
His whole entire show is busting on conservatism Trump. I can't stand it. And he made a living off women jumping on a trampoline. So stop your shit, Jimmy. I know who you are.
Yeah.
That's what I say with it.
Jimmy, Danny Minor knows who you are, just so you know.
If I ever get famous, I will tell him straight to his face. If I say him straight to his face.
TikTok famous. What do you mean?
TikTok.
I'm not even kidding. Some people that come through and I'll mention something and I'll be like, yeah, and they're like, oh, you do that show Vegas News? I'm like, oh, and they're like, oh, you're co-host, and everyone's like, Danny Minor, I know Danny. Like 4 times a week. What about me? You don't know me? I know Danny. I'm like, everyone just loves you. Tell me about crime, though. There's some stuff going on.
So anyway, I gotta tell you this. So while we're at the show, right?
Yeah.
They come up and they're like, listen, anybody that wants the 2 minutes to stand up here and do comedy for 2 minutes to prove yourself, we're gonna do this.
No, you didn't.
They said
Shit.
you gotta sign up ahead of time and then your next show and this. So they're giving people opportunities. 2 minutes to stand up. Somebody did it while we were there. Ahead of time.
Are you gonna do this?
So I turned to Liv. I said, I'm doing this. I'm going to go up and be and she said to me, what makes you think you could be a comedian? She goes, we tried the acting thing. That didn't work out.
Olivia.
She goes to me.
She's so funny.
Then she says to me, because your mother made you think you were something special, we all have to deal with you now. She goes, your mother kissed your ass, made you think you were somebody special, and now we have to deal with you. That's what she said. She goes, what would make you think I'm just going to be a comedian? People do this for 30 years, but you're going to do it tomorrow. She goes, people practice, they do this. You're just going to go up on stage and be a comedian.
That's exactly why you succeed, because there is a part of you that does not give a shit about what people think or feel.
Right.
That's how success is made. I am not kidding you. I have talent. They go on these auditions, they're shaking, they're scared, they're nervous. They don't get the part. You get to the person that doesn't even know their lines, but they come in, they're like, hey, I'm here. What's up? And they get the part.
Right.
It's like you don't care. So yeah, get on that stage. When are you going? I have to watch you do comedy. That would be so good.
I actually have some good, well, you know some of the stuff I say
Yes.
here about eating myself into a wheelchair. I almost got us canceled for that one.
Oh my God, like someone, I'm not even kidding, Danny. I took heat for that. I didn't like totally curse you out but emotionally. I was like, I love this lady. And
We'll have to explain to our guests what eating yourself into a wheelchair is.
okay, so Danny made this horrific comment about eating yourself into a wheelchair because he was making fun of all the people in Walmart that don't have medical problems that walk around because they're heavy. So, okay, yeah, I own a modeling agency, people. So I have this lady come to me with her plus size daughter. I shouldn't even tell this story. This was so shitty. And I'm being like the most supportive person. And I book plus size models every day, all the time.
We're going to offend heavy people again this show, right?
All the people. No. So literally the mom's like, well, I did my research on you. And of course, like, I pop out my chest. I'm proud. I'm like, did you? Like, you were on my
I know your co-host.
I'm like, no. And that's the last thing I thought of. And she goes, well, you didn't say that many nice things when you guys were bashing obese people. And I laughed it off and I said, oh, my producer Maria, she writes those skits for me and I have to do them. So I totally blame production.
Oh, that's what I'm going to do. It's Maria's fault.
I did. It was no, Maria made us talk about obese people and said that's we had to get our ratings up. So I did say that to this lady because I felt so bad that it was just you making me bash.
Listen, we're not going to get back into that, but it wasn't bashing. I said that I got so fat I almost ate myself into a wheelchair. Because most people eat themselves into a wheelchair. They really don't need it. They eat themselves.
I agree.
All right, we're gonna stop. We're gonna stop before I get canceled.
So you have, and like really canceled. I'm not kidding.
I probably said a million things here that would cancel me.
Yeah.
A million since we've been doing this show. We're almost doing this a year.
I know. Not that we've been almost doing this a year. Some of the feedback I'm still getting is on the Trump one. When I literally looked at the camera and I accidentally said, well, only smart women would vote for Trump.
Oh, yes.
And I literally did not even need to say that. Midway through the sentence, I said, I just said that shit, didn't I? We're on a 3-second delay. There was nothing I could do about it, but you guys got a formal apology. So
Listen.
that was enough.
Listen, I say a lot of things that could get us canceled, but you say like the hard ones. The ones that are definitely going to get us canceled, you say.
Well, you know what?
And you say only smart women vote for Trump.
Women hate my guts anyway. They watch because of you. All the women are in love with you. They just watch because of you. I still get it. How's Danny doing? Is he still with that girl? I'm like, she has a name. Like, yeah, he's still with that girl. Stop hitting on Danny through me. I'm not a matchmaker. I'm a talent agent. It's a difference.
Well, we have a guest in the next. Are we bringing him on next segment?
Oh,
right?
yeah, let's do this. I'm excited.
We have a couple minutes here in this segment. 2 minutes.
Tell me a little bit about him. Who do we have today?
John Orlando's going to be on the
John
show.
Orlando.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm telling you how I met John. Believe it or not, remember I had that reality show?
Yes, your reality
John was
show.
my manager for the reality show.
No way.
Yeah.
How
So
did you find him as management?
what happened was I was doing the Problem Solver podcast. That's how I started
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
Problem Solver. I was doing TikTok. Dave Kohlmeyer contacted me because my
Yeah.
TikTok was going up.
Yeah.
And I was a guest on a show a couple times. Then he asked me to be permanent on a show.
Very cool.
So that's how I met John. And we got the reality show going. That was never picked up. And John ended up becoming our manager. John is, and I'm sure you remember Tony Orlando.
Yes.
I know you're younger than me, but you still remember Tony. How could you not?
Stop aging me. You don't know if I'm younger than you. It's a mystery. I'm timeless, Danny.
You're young.
You guys still don't know my age.
I could guess. You know.
I know you, but we're not going to get into my age. It's a mystery through my studio. Nobody knows. I don't like how old is she.
Well, I'm basing it on your husband because I know his age.
Okay. Word from that. Okay. So now he knows my personal. So moving forward, okay. So does he still manage you?
Oh, John, no, the reality show
The
went.
reality show went.
Yeah,
Okay.
it went.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I would have bet my life. And John will tell you, I'd have bet my
You were
life.
saying
This is done.
age because his father, right?
Oh,
his
yeah.
father is.
His father's Tony Orlando and Don. Do you remember that? Tie a yellow ribbon around the oak tree. Yes, yeah.
Yes, I do remember.
You remember that? And they had the Tony Orlando and Don show. It was awesome.
Yes.
Like, we grew up with that. You know what I mean? I grew up with that. I remember all of us getting together, watching the show. It was amazing. It was like to me, and John might be different, it was sort of like a Saturday night show where they had music and they had skits and stuff. It was a great show.
Okay, I will know factually that my mother was a fan because I remember hearing that Tony Orlando and then Dawn. I remember
Yes,
that growing
and
up.
Dawn.
To be completely honest with you, I'm not 100% familiar on all this.
Okay.
I'm not. But I will be. We're going to interview
You will
Saturday.
remember, yes, you will
No, I
remember
know
as
that
we
song,
talk.
Tie a Yellow Ribbon, but that was not the same group that's saying Dawn go away.
No.
That was somebody. So Dawn was just another person.
Yeah. Now I'm definitely going to get your age because if you don't know him that well, you are way
Well,
younger
I
than
grew
him.
up in New York City, so
Uh-huh.
there's difference in music there. I grew up in New York City, so we listened to a lot of it's weird. My music selection's been very weird with my parents. Very
I'm going to guess you're
Yeah.
10 years younger than me.
no. Stop saying that on TV. But thank you, because that means I get some good words out.
And listen, I haven't seen Dawn in a month, and she lost a ton of weight.
Yeah.
I mean,
Zempic. I'm not gonna bullshit you guys. I'm not lying. No, I put on some weight, but Zempic. So yeah.
but other than that, everything's going good in my life.
You look fantastic. You've been working out. I know that. I could already
I have
tell.
been
Your
working
chest is big. Your arms are bigger. Yeah, I haven't seen
I'm
you
trying to
in a
work
second.
out. I'm trying to stay in
Yeah.
shape. Hopefully someday I'll be on TV, and I don't want to look like the 55-year-old man I am.
Yeah, which is I'm saying that you're 55. You look fantastic. I'm so happy
Listen,
to
I
have
tell
you here with me today.
these girls on TikTok, they'll DM me.
Yeah.
This and that.
I saw.
Come see me, come do this, come do this. And I'm like, listen, it's a filter, ladies. I put a filter on a TikTok. You don't want to see me in person?
You're so dreamy with the blue eyes. Though. I'm not gonna lie. I can say that you're so dreamy with the blue eyes, and when you start to sing, the last thing you sang. What did he sing last, Maria? But I think I sent it to Maria like dying laughing. I forgot what it was, but you were mad at someone and you decided to serenade them. It was great.
Olivia told me I can't do the blue eyes anymore. She said it's so cringy. She said I can't do
So
the blue.
cringy for people that don't know you. Like you look like that. It looks like you would have blue eyes, and it's. I see it. I see all those comments, and then when I go on your lives, it's like ridiculous. On the lives, the girls are like, "Hi, Danny, wink, wink," and I'm like. Are you kidding me? Like, you thirsty girls. Like, you thirsty girls. Are you kidding me? These are grown women. I'm like,
I'm old, and I tell them I'm old. I'm like, I'm old. This is a filter I'm covering my fake wrinkles with.
grow into yourself nicely, and women like that shit. They like the, what do they call that? Salt and pepper. How's your hair right now? You have
Oh, it's a
hair
mess.
now?
When I wear my hat,
Wear your hat.
when I wear a hat, I didn't get a
You have that
haircut.
line in your head. You have a cool hairstyle.
I'm going to get a haircut as soon as we
you.
leave.
I'm not kidding you. My DMs, they still don't leave me alone about you. They're still like, how's Danny? And I'm like, good, what? I'm like this protective, like, big sister. I'm like, what do you need from Danny? Go find him on TikTok. He's making more friends.
So I guess we'll bring John on next. We'll take a
Let's
break.
do it. I'm excited. We'll take it. I think we have a 2 minute before production
2 minutes?
starts yelling at us. Okay, fantastic. We'll be right back, guys. And again, you don't want to miss this. We're here again with Danny Miner. So exciting.
Traditional TV is going away. Hollywood is starting to fade. People are demanding real stories from real people. Our voices are now being heard in our own way. Podcasts, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok Live are becoming the norm. Internet TV has now reached the highest demand in human history. Social media shows is now the new media of the century.
Now on digital and DVD.
Did it?
Space Wars Quest for the Deep Star is an epic sci-fi adventure.
Do what needs to be done.
An edge-of-your-seat wild ride.
We have company.
Tons of popcorn-munching fun. 5 stars. A love letter to the sci-fi films of the 70s and 80s. With plenty of action and fun for all. You need to see it. You really do.
The captain just decided it's time to go.
I am ready for a sequel. Experience a bold new adventure. Space Wars Quest for the Deep Star.
A good old-fashioned adventure.
Now on digital and DVD.
We are back on Vegas Views, Don. It feels like I never left. It's only been a month.
I know.
We got our guest here, John Orlando. John, welcome.
How are you, man?
Good.
Thanks for having me.
Listen, when they told me that you were going to be on the show, Maria texted me like 2 days ago. I said, I'm definitely coming. I will
Love
definitely
it.
be there because I was just on your show, and it was awesome. John just had, Don, he had a 24-hour podcast.
Live.
24 hours.
straight hours. Brutal.
For
For the 5th year in a row.
Yes.
With the same person, with the same people?
No.
Rotating guests.
Rotating
By
guests.
yourself. For all of that time.
Yeah, this year I came out for so I host the Action Junkeez podcast.
Sure.
So this was the 5th year we did it, but now we've got a lot of other Junkeez shows. There's Bizarre Junkeez and Gridiron Junkeez and Fitness Junkeez. So I took breaks this year for the first time, but it actually worked against me because when you take the break, it's like that the adrenaline comes down and then you get
I can
tired and then
imagine.
it was
So,
a bad idea.
Let me ask you.
Yeah.
How long before you started getting like, all right, this is wild? Like, were you good for the first 5 hours, 7 hours? Because that's a long time.
Yeah, I was good, no problem for the first 12 hours. We start at 5 a.m. We go 5 a.m. Friday to 5 a.m. Saturday.
Okay.
So by 5 p.m. I remember I was like, oh, we're at the halfway point. No problem. And then by like 8 p.m.,
Were you fading
maybe an
fast?
hour 15, it's just
Yeah.
like, okay, pop a 5-hour energy.
Yeah.
And then by midnight, you're just wrecked. By midnight, you're like, why did I do this? This is the dumbest idea. I'm never doing this
So
again. I hate
how did-
podcasting. I hate my life, and I hate people. Yeah.
I say I hate people like 3
Yeah.
times a day.
Yeah.
Just kidding. But how did that work? So were the increments of your guests like an hour, 2 hours? Did you have someone that did a stretch with you?
Some are on for an hour.
Okay.
It's the only time I'll Zoom guests in. I really like just doing it in studio.
Sure.
But for the 24-hour, it's like, especially like 2 a.m., you got to rely on like the East Coast sometimes. Someone's
Yeah.
getting up like a fitness guy at 5 a.m. or sometimes we're Zooming someone from London or Ireland because they're 8 hours ahead or 10 hours ahead, whatever it is. So on Zoom, I don't like doing more than 15 or 20 minutes with someone because I just think it just starts to fall flat. Although we did have Chris Angel on this year via Zoom because his schedule's so crazy. He just couldn't make it work
He
to come
still
in.
has his Cirque show out here.
It's not a Cirque show anymore,
It's
but
not
it's
Cirque anymore.
yeah, he does his show at Planet Hollywood now.
Guys, Planet Hollywood, not a paid partnership again. If you guys do get a chance to go see Chris Angel, I saw him, I think originally when I had come to Las Vegas, originally it was not a Cirque show, then it turned into a Cirque
Right.
show, and now I just heard it's not a Cirque show again. Go see him. He is absolutely incredible. I love that guy.
Yeah,
He is
he's
absolutely
great.
Incredible.
He's great.
One of my favorite shows out
Yeah,
here.
nice guy too.
Yeah.
He's
So what inspired this 24-hour run? Like, how did that work for you?
I don't know. I think maybe deep down, my dad is Tony Orlando, the singer.
Yes.
If you know who that is, and he used to host or co-host the Jerry Lewis Telethon. So growing up,
See, I remember that.
oh yeah,
I remember that too.
So Jerry was in Vegas.
Yes.
Ed McMahon was in L.A.
Yes.
and my dad was in New York.
Yeah.
So my dad was the New York host for 24 hours.
Oh, that's what they would switch.
Right, and
That's
they would
right.
switch it and throw it to Tony in New
Do
York,
you
throw it to
remember
Ed.
this in your upbringing? Do you
Oh,
remember
sure.
this
I
as a
remember.
part of your childhood?
I remember. You'll like this. I remember. You're a baseball fan.
Yeah, of course.
So I can remember. I think this was like 1983 or 84. I was 13 or 14. I remember my dad hosting in New York, and back then you would. Well, still, I think you'd be. They'd have the phone banks behind you, like that. You'd see people. So I would do that, and I'd write down. This is no internet back then, so you would just write down the pledge. Vivian from New York, from Poughkeepsie, from whatever, right?
Only at $20.
And I remember me and then King Griffey Jr. answering.
Oh my God!
And
And so he was little.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, that was awesome,
Because
man.
Ken Griffey, a senior, played for the Yankees back then.
Okay.
So
Oh my
he would
God.
present a check to my dad, whatever. But yeah.
Little did
Yeah.
you know he'd go up to be one of the best home run hitters.
Crazy.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, that's crazy.
Was my favorite player ever. Yeah.
Could you imagine that? He's answering the phones next to him.
Yeah. But so I think deep down, like the 24-hour thing was just a thing in my head.
Yeah.
When you're not Joe Rogan and you're trying to come up and make noise and figure out how to get people to pay attention to you, 24 hours. I'd never heard of anyone doing 24 hours. So
I had never
I'm not
heard
saying
of
I'm the
that.
only one that did it. I just never heard of anyone doing it. I have no idea. I don't know. There's
stuff I'll let you know.
there's certainly like live
Figure it out.
streamers. There's certainly live streamers that like play video games for 24 hours
Yeah.
at a time or do other stuff.
Yeah.
But
But a
I'd never heard of a
podcast-
podcast being 24 hours. So
I didn't
that was
know
5 years. In 2020, we started it. And then we started, I remember we did like March 6th of 2020. And then March 10th, 2020, the world ended basically. So I always say like my podcast ended the world. The 24-hour show ended the world. And now we just stuck with it, and it's fun.
So
It's like,
you have a physical studio here in Las Vegas.
Yeah,
But you
yeah.
also have one in Florida.
yeah, so I have a Sticky Paws Studios is the name of it here in Vegas, named after my cat, because every time you walk by her, she latches on with her
She has
little
sticky
murder
paws.
mittens. Yep. And
Oh, I gotta stop the whole show. I'm a cat lover.
are you?
Yeah.
She is 5 now.
What's her name?
Mocha. And you know what? We rescued her. We found her at. I have another cat that's 13 that I've had since he was a baby, Petrie. And
that is
but Mocha, we pulled up to the Artisan. You were talking about stand-up comedy in the last segment. So the art. Do you remember the Artisan Hotel? It's
Yeah.
not the Artisan anymore though. I just saw
It's
it changed its
something
name. Yeah.
else. Yeah.
But
But the interesting place.
they used
The place is interesting.
but they used to have a comedy night there.
Yes.
And
I know
so
that.
my friend Natasha was doing stand-up, and so we went to go see her. And when we pulled up to valet, my girlfriend had driven her car that night, and so I got out. And the second I got out, this little cat came like right around the car. This cute little skinny little dirty looking cat, And it came right to me, and I started petting her. And then my girlfriend got out. She loves cats too, so we were playing with this cat. It was only about a year old at the time, this cat. And the valet said, "Oh, someone just dumped her off like 2 weeks ago." And we were like, "Dumped her off literally?" And he said, "Yeah, a car pulled up. They opened the door and put the cat, and they drove away." And they were like, "What?" I was like, "Can we take it?" And he's like, "Yeah, please take it." So we just scooped her up and we didn't even go. Actually, Vanessa, my girlfriend, she took the cat. I went into the comedy show, and she took the cat home.
You would really save my cat.
Yeah. And she's the sweetest cat ever. It's like so crazy how people do what they do. I just don't get it.
Yeah, I'm a cat person.
Yeah,
I have Macy
they're great.
at home. I love you, Macy.
The non-cat people are only non-cat. They're only non-cat people because they've never had one.
I agree.
If
Once
they had
you
one,
have a cat,
it changes
Yeah, they're
everything.
like so
Yeah.
easy, but such
Yeah.
personalities.
The
My
biggest
cat-
dog lover. If you put them around a cat, they will
Yeah.
end up liking
Yeah,
a cat.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Cats are easier to take care of.
Way easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Do you have a
have
cat?
attitudes,
No, we
too.
used to
Okay.
when my kids were young.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the cats are like finicky. Like
Yeah.
my cat, she's got an attitude. Like
Yeah.
if you don't stay on her schedule,
It's their
she's
house.
Very
Yeah.
entitled. Oh yeah, very entitled. Looks at me. She's a talker. So like
Yeah.
I get home, she's like,
Yeah.
that's feed me, give me treats, love me, talk
Yeah.
to me, pay me. Yeah.
Yeah. When
I
we
love it,
moved,
though.
a few years ago, we had to get furniture and stuff, and Vanessa was like picking out stuff. I was like, "You can't get that." And she was like, "Why?" I said, "Because you have a
The
cat.
cat.
You don't understand.
No.
That's not cat friendly. Now you have to everything you buy, you have to say, what is the cat going to do to this?
Yeah,
because they will
absolutely.
tear it up.
Yeah. My audience is so pissed off right now. They're like, all right, this guy, we want to hear about you and your dad.
Yeah.
And I'm
What are you
like, tell me
doing?
about the cat.
Yeah.
This is why they hate me. They're like, shut up. Just talk about the cat. Okay, so back to you. So
Yeah.
you have these studios.
Yeah.
You're doing podcasts. How do you find people to get on your podcast? Is there a specific type of people you like to work with? Are you geared?
He
more
wants
toward-
gamblers.
Yeah, well, for me, the show is Action Junkies, so I kind of treat the show
Yeah,
like.
you on the show.
Are you gambling? Slots? You're like slot fiend?
No.
Blackjack?
Former. I have not gambled in a year. I don't gamble.
Oh,
She
really?
used to though.
Yes. Oh, interesting.
Let's get into this.
Think you got ugly for you? Did it say ugly,
I
or-
play poker. No.
Poker? I like poker.
Yes, live poker, and I will do slots. The whatever, but I like live
So
poker better.
you won't play poker anymore
no,
either?
No, I don't. Anything
Because you
that has to
consider
do
that
with
gambling,
Yes.
which is interesting.
Nothing that has to do with gambling. No.
Interesting.
And it's a lifestyle.
When you played, did you play tournaments too, or
No. I
just
never
cash
played in
games?
Tournaments, just cash games.
Where would you
win
play back
everywhere,
then? Really?
everywhere.
We probably played with each other.
Absolutely.
I played with John.
Because
Yeah.
my main places I play are Encore, Aria,
Yeah.
and South Point.
Oh, yeah. And I love the South.
Mhm.
I love
Yeah.
South.
Not anymore though. It's over a year now. I'm saying a year, but it's over a year that I have not gambled. I just have a clean lifestyle of nothing.
Really?
I know it
So you're
sounds wild.
boring now.
I'm so boring.
You don't even do drugs?
I know drugs. No drugs. Not
Right.
even anything like no drugs at all. No drugs. No weed. No alcohol. No obviously cigarettes. I would never. No down some of my shakes. No sugar. Like
Right.
and nothing. That's just a really good lifestyle for me.
Okay.
And it's
Just
I
no
know.
poker.
full of shit,
I get the
baby.
no gambling, but the no poker. See, I don't
No
poker
poker.
for me to me is not gambling.
Poker is the epic gamble. What do you mean?
No, there's no house. You're playing against other people.
Yeah,
It's different.
Poker's different.
There's no house. You're playing other people.
It's still gambling though, huh?
There's elements of luck. A bad poker player could gamble
Yes.
on certain hands. You know, you need one more card for a flush. Okay.
Are you playing the World Series?
Of course. Yeah.
Me too. I'm gonna play in that There's the second event of the year is 500 buy-in. Did
Yeah.
you see that one?
Maria, these guys
It's
are terrible.
it's
to me. Terrible because now I'm thinking,
It's a
that makes
freeze-out.
sense what they
so
do.
there's no rebuy.
I like that better.
It's so do I. That's what I'm gonna play. It's a freeze out. It's only a $500 buy-in. I think it's guaranteeing $5 million or something.
Yeah.
Payout. I'm definitely in that.
Yeah.
'Cause there's no rebuy, so Daniel Negreanu can't go in there, go all in heavy hand, and throw $500 if
Yeah.
he could afford it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I can't.
Yeah.
So it puts
It
me
changes
at a
the way they
disadvantage.
play.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure.
Are you really good?
Yeah, John's good.
I think I'm good. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I did really well last summer and during the World Series. I mean, I didn't.
Oh, you cashed.
I cast a few.
Yeah, you
I
did.
played in a $1,500 or $1,600 buy-in turbo bounty.
Okay.
So the levels are 20 minutes, and you got 500 for everyone you knocked out. So that was kind of fun. So I came in, I think 27th in that one, and I
Wow.
got 8,000 for coming in 27th, and then another 8,000 for all the bounties.
Oh, that was 16
So
grand.
16K. Then a couple days later, a week later, I'm foggy on the timing of it. I played the $10,000 turbo bounty, same event but for 10,000. And my buddy, I'm friends with Randall Emmett. He produced Lone Survivor and
Oh, you're friends with him.
Yeah.
He's on the high speed poker
Yeah.
things and everything.
So
Okay.
he sends me a text. He's kind of like my poker mentor, so to speak. So he sends me a text the night before I'm going to play the $10,000 turbo bounty, and he says, "Are you playing in the main? The main event is also a $10,000 buy-in, which was like a few days after the turbo bounty."
Okay.
And I said, yeah, I'm going to play the main, but I'm also playing tomorrow. I'm playing the 10K turbo bounty. This is all text. He writes back, LOL, no, you're not. And I write back, what do you mean? No, I'm not. I'm getting mad, you know?
Yes,
he's
I
like,
am.
He's like, you're not playing the 10K turbo bounty. Stop it! Exclamation point. I'm getting heated. I'm like, F you, like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm not even going to play, I'm going to cash. He's writing back like LMF, whatever, last my, you know, he's like, you have no business playing in that event. It's going to be all pros. So in the main event, it's $10,000 to buy your way in.
Sure.
But you can also play what they call a satellite event
To get
in other
Yeah,
states. Wherever
but
you
you were
you
expecting
could
satellites to
win
be
your
there.
way into that
Yeah.
event for literally a $150 tournament.
Yeah, you could.
So it's called what they call a soft field or a softer field. There's going to be 10,000 people that play in the main event, but only like 1,000 are like straight up pros.
Right.
Right? So it's an easier path to cashing. The $10,000 turbo bounty, Randall was saying, it's going to be all pros. So I'm like getting heated. We're going back and forth, and I'm like, I will cash, and I want a public apology from you. He goes, oh, you'll get it. You'll never cash. Okay. So now I stopped texting him, and I'm literally sitting there. I'm thinking, maybe he's right. Like, I shouldn't be playing in this. Like, it never occurred to me that it was going to be all pros. And like when he said that, I was like, wait, is he right? Like, I know he knows what he's talking about. So I'm like,
And
he's
he's
played
like,
on TV. You've seen, like, he sits with the big boys. So I'm like, man, is he right? But then so I tell Vanessa, my girlfriend, I'm like, maybe Randall's right. I show her the text thread, and she's like, what are you talking about? She's like, you know it's good when you have a girl that encourages you to gamble? Yeah. So she's like, you've been telling me for the whole time we've been together, you can sit with the best, and you can play with the best, and you belong with the best. And now you're saying you may not play because Randall says don't play? I'm like, you're right. Screw him. I'm playing, right?
Get Randall.
Okay, so now the next morning, I get there. It's 11 o'clock start, and I sit down at my table, and I don't recognize any of the guys. So now Randall went from like harassing me the night before to now he's going to be supportive. So he says, hey, when you get there, take a quick video of your table and send it to me, and I'll tell you who's who at your table. Because he says, I guarantee you've got a handful of pros at your table. There's 9 people at the table. He's like, you're probably going to be the only non-pro. I still think he's exaggerating, though, right?
Right.
Okay, so I take this video. And as I'm taking the video, the last player comes to the table and he sits down, and it's Ben Lamb, who was like I want to say 2016 Player of the Year.
Yes, I know
He's
exactly
won millions of dollars.
He lives here in Vegas, too.
Lives here in Vegas,
Yeah.
right? And I had met Ben, so I did I met him with Randall, so I recognized Ben, right?
Yeah.
So he sits down and he looks to. I'm sitting literally right across from him. He says hello to every single person at the table by first name except me. He's met me, doesn't remember, but he knows all these guys because he's played poker with them before. And I'm like, oh no, I'm screwed. So Randall starts telling me, oh, the guy to your left is Ren Lim. He's a really famous like Japanese player.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. He tells me who all these people are. So for the first like 10 minutes, I'm sitting there and I'm like, literally, if this happened, I have pocket jacks, but there's a king on the board. I bet guy raises, I fold because I'm like, someone has the king. But normally like, well, maybe let's see one more card. I just believe everyone for the first 10 minutes.
And I play with you. You're a little bit of aggressive, too.
I'm super aggressive.
Right. Yeah.
I need to see it. I have OCD, and like I need to see that you have me beat, which is bad as poker. Like he can get away from a hand, Danny can fold.
Yeah.
I have trouble folding. Like I need to really know. Okay, so Randall sends me a text and he says, but remember this, they don't always have it. Don't let those guys run you over. So I'm like, oh, I've been getting run over for like the first level, first 20 minutes. So I'm like, all right, I'm just going to play my game, and it is whatever it is. Okay, so now we play 3 more levels. So there's a break after 4 levels. So after you start this tournament with 60,000 in chips, but understand they're worth nothing in a tournament. Like you have 60. I had all these people. This probably happens to you when you play a tournament. And you post a chip stack, and somebody's in a tournament. If you go deep enough, you'll have like $1 million in tournament chips, and people will be. They see a $25,000 chip.
Just say cash out.
They go cash out. What are you doing? Go buy a house in a Lambo and still have money. What are you doing? Yeah, I'm always like, and I write back LOL because it took me a while to realize like some of my friends, they don't realize like it's not
money.
Yeah. They're like, baller. I'm like, no, dude, you don't understand.
I've been cashing out.
Right. It's some of those English tournaments like you paid $150 to play and you got 800,000 in chips. Like it's nothing.
Right.
Okay, so I end up. You start with 60,000. After the first break, I have like 225,000, I think, in chips, which is really good.
It was great, especially after the first break.
So I send Randall a pic of my chip stack, and he says like, "You're a chip leader." I go, "I am." He goes, "Probably." He's like, "You have 220," but he goes, "Go find someone with a Poker News credential around their neck, and go ask them." It's your way of telling them. Basically, you're saying like, you have to let them know without
that you're a chip leader,
right?
That you get on the news.
So he says, "Go up and just say, hey, it's my first big tournament. How am I doing? I have 220,000 or whatever it is. How am I doing? Right?
Yeah.
And then you'll know from their answer." I said, "Okay." So I find a guy at Poker News thing. You've got like a 10-minute break. So I go find this guy. And I'm like, hey, how am I doing? Like, I got like 225,000 chips. He goes, you have 225,000 right now? I think that was the number. He goes, I go, yeah. He goes, you're chip leader. I go, what? He goes, yeah, Phil Hellmuth has like 215.
Right.
Phil Hellmuth is like one of the best players
I don't know if you know him.
ever to play the game. The GOAT. I mean, you got
must have been
you got Phil Hellmuth, Phil Ivey, and Daniel Negreanu. I mean,
They're
would
the
you
three
say,
best.
right? Those are like the three top,
Yeah.
you know, maybe now there's better players earnings-wise, but like those guys have stood the test of time. They've been around for
They're
20
the older
years.
generation. They're the Hall
Right.
of Famers.
Hall of Famers.
Yeah,
Right. Okay.
Yeah, they're the Hall of Famers.
So I go to pokernews.com and they post updates, right? And it says John Orlando, chip leader, you know, Phil Hellmuth.
Did you screenshot?
Because, you know, you'll relate, like, to me, this is my highlight. I know I'm not going to win. Like, I'm not delusional. And it can change like that, you know?
It does.
Listen,
Oh my god.
that was like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Danny, I was chip leader every single update till around 11 p.m. Maybe once I fell below and then I got back to first. But pretty much I was chip leader from 1 p.m. to 1 a.m.
These guys were
I've been
probably
stressed.
so.
And then it said like John Orlando, Phil Ivey, John Orlando, Phil Hellmuth, Phil Ivey, Phil Ivey, Phil. You know, it was nuts.
I've
Okay.
been so proud of myself.
Oh my God. So now at the point where they pay like the top 10 to 15% of the field. So 643 people I think entered. I swear I was probably one of 5 non-pros in this tournament. And so you get to what they call the bubble, and that means you're one more person has to go out, and then we all at least get paid.
Yeah.
Some more than others based on how well you do, right? Okay. So we're on the bubble, and Phil Hellmuth has literally 3 chips in front of him. He had fallen. He had fallen down to literally. He's got like 1 big blind.
I know
okay?
exactly what you're going to tell me happened.
So we make it. So we make it to the bubble. So someone goes out, and so I know Phil for a long time, and so I go up to Phil, and I realize like he's got 3 chips from. So I was like, oh, I wasn't going to say anything. So I turn. I'm going to walk away. He goes, John O. I go, yeah. He goes, good luck, man. He goes, this one's yours to win. It's not my day today. This one's yours to win. Go get it. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do the best I can. I'm doing the best I can, right? So and then so this was like around 7 or 8 o'clock at night. Okay, so I'm still like chip leader, whatever, and I'm like sweating because first place for this was $800,000.
Yeah.
Okay, I've already spent the money because in my head, Phil Hellmuth just said, "This one's yours to lose."
You're winning this.
I got this now. Like the GOAT is behind me, right? I don't know what happened. It gets to a point where you have to play hands because the blinds keep going up high.
Yep.
The wheels fell off, and I end up going out in 35th
That's still a good run, John.
with the bounties. And this one, you got
Just the achievements
$3,000 for everyone you knocked out. It was a $10,000 buy-in. Every bounty, every person you knock out, you got $3,000. So I ended up cashing for $38K.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's a good
with
profit.
$20K for the regular cash, and then I had 6. I knocked out 6 people, so $18K from that.
Oh my god.
$38K. Who do you?
Just the way you played too was like that's huge.
And it's really weird. You've probably been through this because you've had heartbreaking tournaments. We all have, right? I'm in line to cash. This is my biggest poker cash ever. I did what Randall Emmett said I would have no business doing, and I didn't just get a minimum cash.
You did this.
I got 38K coming, and I'm in a bad mood. Standing there with my little credential to give to the cashier to give me 38K. I'm in a bad mood because I only have 38K, and I thought I was going to win the tournament.
I
would have been so pissed.
Right?
To be honest, 38K and there was 800 sitting there, I would have been like, F that 38.
Two-
800 sitting there.
2 hours later, so they cut play off for the night maybe 30 minutes later,
Yeah.
and then like 2 hours into the next day, they crowned a winner. So really, 2.5 hours more,
You could have won it.
I could have won. Who do you think won?
Phil.
Phil Hellmuth. The guy that had 3 chips left that told me it's not his day, that anointed me as the guy that's going to win. Somehow, the Hall of Fame legend that he is, he comes back to win that tournament.
But you did amazing.
$800,000.
That's incredible.
Thanks, yeah.
He just won a tournament at the Win, right?
That win the daily, that was
he
for
just-
$5,000.
he just wanted-
No, I wouldn't call myself a pro. A pro to me
You would not
means
call yourself a pro.
no way, no.
You're not
A pro to
You're
me
great.
is
You're not a pro.
no, no.
I win $5,000, I'd be dancing around.
Yeah, I mean, to
I'm
me,
saying I'm the best.
Yeah, I think a pro means that's all you're doing.
I agree.
I think.
Gotcha.
I agree.
Right?
Okay, yeah.
I could never just rely. I would be.
I'd be
homeless.
scared. Yeah, I'd be scared too.
Yeah, I'd be homeless.
When I first moved here, though, I made a living playing cash at the Mirage.
Did you really?
5 days a week I was at the Mirage. They knew me so well. Even if there was a line, you know how you
Put you in.
They put me in. They knew me so well. And
The Mirage was a nice room back then. They don't have it anymore.
I know. I love the Mirage. And now it's turned to Hard Rock. Maybe they'll bring a poker room back.
I hope so. I think they will.
Do you see the Venetians putting the poker room on the second floor?
I heard.
I saw where it's at. It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be all on its own. The Venetian
Yeah,
poker
I
room.
heard.
So that should be good.
I heard.
We gotta get Don back
So
into
let's
this.
get back to this really quick.
Yeah.
So you think that poker is not gambling?
I don't.
I don't. There are elements of chance to it, so I understand why people would argue that there's gambling because right, the flop, turn, and river are luck.
Yeah.
Right, but it's a game of skill. You're not playing against the house.
Yeah.
You're playing against the other people, and so sure there are elements of chance related to it, but overall, it's a skill-based game.
Do you ever get to the point where you're like, I can't do this anymore?
Oh, my joke at a tournament is when I sit down at a tournament, I'll be like, this is my 432nd tournament since giving up tournaments because I hate this game, and that's just this month.
So you have
Yeah.
love-hate.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
See, that was
I
my thing. I had the love-hate, and when it became like, I hate you. Like, I'm not
Listen,
I hate you. Then I had to stop hating.
I'll be honest. The first main event I ever played, I won my seat. I won my way in the night before. I played a $1,000 buy-in tournament at Rio.
Okay.
And they just played the top 15%, you know.
Everybody went to the tournament.
So
Right.
there was like 150 of us that ended up going, 140 something of us that went to the tournament, right?
Right.
So I play in the main event for this is a bucket list. I watched the movie Rounders with Matt Damon.
So did I.
Maybe Rounders is
It's literally at a point I go, you know how you can voice
Yeah.
message your
Yeah.
remote control for what to
Yeah.
play. I literally go Rounders, because I don't want Vanessa to hear. Right? And she'll be coming downstairs, and she'll be like, "You gotta be kidding me!" Because like she
Again?
sees it, yeah, again, like literally 2 or 3 times a month. I watch this movie.
That is a good movie.
It's so good.
It's
so good,
So
yes.
I'd wanted to play this since like 1998, the World
Okay,
Series of Poker,
yeah.
right? And the first time I played it was 2018, the main event. Okay. I literally lasted 20 minutes. The main event,
Yeah.
my first main event.
Oh my god.
20 minutes.
That's hard.
My first hand I sat down to, pocket aces on the button. They didn't hold up. I lost a third in my stack.
Doesn't that
This guy
suck?
chased a straight down, and he got it on the river.
Somebody was telling you
literally,
not to play.
Yeah,
Like,
literally
okay,
next hand,
okay.
pocket jacks, flop a set, and get rivered to a flush.
Right.
And then third hand, I get like ace 10 suited. I don't realize I'm such a rookie with the main event. The levels are 2 hours long.
Right.
I still had, like, you start the main event with, back then I think you started with 50K, not 60. Don't quote me, I might be wrong, but I had like 15,000 chips. So still, I was okay.
Yeah.
But I panicked and didn't realize that I was okay. And I shipped it all in, pre-flop, with ace 10 of diamond.
20 minutes in.
Yes, 20 minutes in, I
10
shipped it.
grand right down.
All I was thinking, Danny, all I was thinking was, it's so early, everyone's gonna fold, and I'll just get a momentum change. Like, I'm weird psychologically. I just needed like chips to come my way, and I'd be all right.
And then you'd be okay.
This guy snap calls me with an ace king, and ace king held up, and I was out. I literally sat, and so I'm on the podcast. Imagine I'm doing this lead up, main event. I'm winning my way in, and we're posting like crazy, And so it's like the morning of main event, and it's like I am posting so much stuff.
doing this.
I'm doing it. And
20 minutes later.
First hand, pocket aces, first hand, and then like, sir, you can't be on the phone. Okay, sorry, whatever. And then, all of a sudden, the updates stop. I'm sitting in the hallway at the Rio. I'm not kidding you. I will admit this. Tears
Oh,
in the hallway.
yeah.
I'm the only one in the hallway because everyone else is still playing because no one's got. There's no way I was not the first person to go out that year. I was absolutely the first one eliminated.
Right.
In
And
2018.
it's heartbreaking because there was so much hype to it.
Heartbreaking. Heartbreaking.
And you know what, John, I don't think people understand how big these events are. These
Yeah.
events are
I have to ask.
There's
wait a
cameras
second.
all over.
Yeah.
Did you grow up with poker, or when did you learn to
Oh yeah,
play?
that's a great question.
Yeah, well, so okay, because of Dad, I grew up in the Riviera and the hotel,
Yeah.
which is gone now, and the Hilton, which is now the Westgate.
Your dad had a show here, right?
Dad had a show here.
So you were
Back then,
raised in
26
Las
years a
Vegas.
year. I mean, 26 weeks a year. We lived in LA, but 26 weeks a year he was here.
Yeah.
So I went to UNLV. Vegas was always like
Yeah.
my second home, or honestly, I felt like it was home to me.
Yeah.
And it starts with keynote tickets in the coffee shop, right? You know, my dad's always like, I blame myself for your gambling addiction because like it started with like, you know, give the kids a keynote ticket to
Yeah.
look at the numbers and like shut up so the adults can
Yeah.
talk, right?
Yeah.
And then blackjack at 16 at the tables. When I look at photos of me, Danny, at 21, I didn't look 16. When I was 21, I looked 16.
Right.
So when I was 16, I was playing table games. How? Like, I don't understand.
Years old.
Like, how did they let me do that? Yeah, and then poker, like in high school with the boys, you know, and then I didn't play live poker in a casino until late, even not even round. I was always afraid because I was like, ooh, I don't
Yeah.
know.
So, but it was placed in your life.
Yeah,
Like,
just
for us, I
gambling
think,
in general.
me
Yeah,
too.
for
Growing
sure.
up in New York City,
Yeah.
my dad and all my uncles, they would have like poker games.
Yeah.
So I knew cards very young.
Yeah.
You know, so if it's in you, it's
Yeah,
in you.
and my dad had a bookie. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, my dad called his bookie every day, so I am familiar with gambling. I just had it. I had to be
Yeah.
a gambler. It was just the way it is. But I don't think people, like I said before, I don't think people understand the World Series of Poker. Don, there's cameras everywhere.
Everywhere.
They're video camera, and you
Yeah,
can
no,
because
it's major
they're counting.
now.
There's all news people counting your chip stacks. They're going around. This thing goes on for a month and a half. People have no idea how big this thing is.
Yeah.
It's humongous. The best poker players in the world. I mean, if you want to prove yourself to the poker world, this is where to do it. And I'm sure you know this. There's other big tournaments all over too, not just
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Orleans has a series.
Yeah.
The MGM has a series.
Great ones at Orleans.
I love the Orleans.
Yeah.
They have good
The
guarantees.
satellite ones you were telling me about.
No,
Those
just
are
tournaments in
small.
general. Just
No, they're just
World Series tournaments.
They're competing with.
Okay.
They're not competing with the World Series. They're having smaller buy-ins where people will come and play them when there's not a
Right.
World Series event.
Yeah.
So they're maybe $300.
And it's the same
$200.
concept if I go to one of those tables and play.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Same thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And South Point has a series too. They have a series
Yeah.
too. They actually take out their whole bar and make that tournament room. Did you see that last
I love it there. Yeah.
I love it there too. They took the whole bar and made that the tournament room. So in a month here, the poker world will be
Yeah.
here.
End
for
of
a
May
month
it
and a half.
starts.
Yeah.
Till mid-June.
And it's insane.
Can't wait.
So our studio audience is not shocked. They're like, oh, they're in Vegas, and we're
Right.
the conversation goes straight together. I don't gamble. These two got a problem. I'm just kidding. I'm just.
The only problem when you lose.
Listen, and you think your girlfriend's pretty good with it? My girlfriend's pretty good with it too. Now,
Yeah.
when my ex-wife,
You can't do it if
my
you're not-
ex-wife thought I had a gambling problem.
Yeah.
She thought I was an addict. You know me, I don't have.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't get addicted to anything. Just marijuana.
And TikTok.
TikTok, I was gonna say, you're definitely addicted to
No,
TikTok.
that's
Well, you should be because
Yeah,
you keep
yeah.
rushing it. Yeah.
You're killing the TikTok.
Yeah.
Game, but did he tell you that seriously he will do this as an addiction? He can't go someplace without filming something, right?
Yeah, I filmed on the way here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has to
It's
film
good.
it.
Yeah, I filmed on the way here.
Good. It's
Yeah.
it's a full time. People don't realize it's a full time job. It is.
Oh,
What he
I
does
know.
is not easy.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
You want to hear a secret? I'll say it. Whatever. I'm not afraid of TikTok, but I don't put myself in TikToks, but I'm all over Instagram. That's my media, is Instagram with the models and the studio.
But why?
But I don't know.
It's the same thing.
I can do this. I'm fine.
Could
But
you
to, like make a video of me, I'm like I can't
Yes, you
do
can.
that. Like I can't. My first
interesting.
video is gonna be
Yeah.
with you. I can't do it alone.
Really?
Yeah, I have all the equipment. My whole studio is set up. Sometimes a lot of my talent will say, I don't do that. That's not until I'm like know how to do it with you. No.
It's you got to learn it. Now I'm starting to learn YouTube,
Yeah.
right? I thought they were all the same. Like if I did good on TikTok, it's
No.
not.
Yeah, it's not.
YouTube is totally different. I got to learn it.
I
Yeah.
have 14,000 followers on my TikTok, and because they're from you.
Yeah.
They're just people that are like, hey, hook me up with Dan. Seriously. And then, but my Instagram is off the chain at
Yeah.
181 right
Wow.
now with a ton, but it's talent based. There's a lot of people in the
Who
business.
cares? You're there. Yeah. You have an audience. Yeah.
But I can't move that audience.
It's hard. Yeah, it's so hard.
so hard. They
Yeah.
know you in one light, and to scoot.
I know. I'm
over
trying to
is
get all my
hard.
TikTokers to YouTube. and
Vice
It's hard.
versa.
Yeah.
Did you see when you put up your new one? I was like, go check him out. To
Yeah.
all my people, it's difficult to
Right.
move.
You know what it does?
platforms.
If you go live on TikTok, you can get people to follow you. They'll come on there and say, "Oh, hey, go over to my YouTube," and I always say, Just in case TikTok goes away, go follow me on YouTube. So getting live helps.
They
Yeah.
love you live though, because even when I was on that live pumping everybody up, like
Yeah.
they love you. I
Yeah.
mean,
Did you ever
His
see?
energy.
Did you ever see? Did you ever see anybody's live? They give you free money.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
It's
like,
ridiculous.
we were going cash for cash with those girls. That
Yeah.
my assistant
You
and I.
been getting money when you go live?
Oh my God! Yeah, I average about $40 to $50 when I go live. Just I need to go to dinner tonight. Hey, how's everybody?
And you know what happens? They
I
have
get
wars.
$50.
Wait, they have wars on Danny.
I've
It's like,
seen
I'll
that.
pop on and like my assistant will be like giving gifts to Danny because she's like she was in love with him. She's like, oh my God, she's a kid. Da-da-da. And then like other girls are like then posting and they're putting hats on you. There's this for $30, this for $20. This. And I'm like, Danny's gonna get some money. So we're just and they will war over it. These ladies are warring over it. You got to keep the blue eyes and Olivia.
70% of my followers are women.
They love him.
But it's true
They just love
crime.
him.
It's true
Right.
crime. And women love true
Women
crime.
love true crime.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I
You need
mean-
to know.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, 70.
Yeah.
That beard company that called me, they want to be, brand with me, right?
Yeah.
I said to them, 70% of my followers are women. I just want you to know that.
Why
Only
are you
30% are
thinking
men.
not to do that? Like it sounds
I
like
don't
not going there. You have a beard and you're a man. Why are
I
you
don't
doing
know.
that?
I'm gonna probably do it.
You should do it.
Yeah. You know what I've been getting? What's really cool? I've been getting things now since I got big to go see movies for free and then do reviews.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that all the time now. I haven't done it yet, but I get them all the time. I just
Don't
got one
do
yesterday.
Oh, you know what?
So
I need to
cool.
introduce you to Roy Nelson, former UFC fighter.
Okay.
Now he fights bare knuckle.
Oh, Jesus.
But he does these he has a deal with like the studios. He does movie nights at Red Rock.
Oh, yeah?
For new movies, same thing. Like, you
Yeah.
just go, but he's
I
got a
know,
good
they
network of
release
people
the
for
new
you to.
movies.
to
I
meet.
know what he
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
And then they release them
Yeah.
in the movies. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool. I mean, you get a lot of these opportunities. I'll tell you a funny story, though. I get probably 10 emails a day. So my product, I'll send it to you for free, this and that. I get these constantly, 10, 20 a day. I watched this girl on TikTok. She took all these products. She got a 1099 at the end of the year because them products they consider payment.
Of course.
She got a 1099 for $60,000.
Stop.
And it was all product
Be
based that she
careful.
took. She said, she goes, I only made $30,000 from TikTok and I got $6,000.
It's the same exact thing, guys. If I send a couple of models onto a set and they're getting paid $10,000 a day, let's say, okay, that's their payment. They've got to work that out, but they get another $10,000 in clothes. That's another $10,000.
Yes.
You're going to be very.
Is that
careful.
crazy?
Yeah, even things you take off movie sets. You got to be very careful.
Yeah,
Oh,
they count
wow.
that
They
as
will nail
payment.
you in this
Oh my
business.
God.
Yeah. This girl was almost in tears on TikTok.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't know, I'm going to pay my taxes.
I can't afford to take free stuff.
It's like, holy cow.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Shit back. Oh.
But I tell you, you brought up a good point the other day in the podcast that it really never hit me. I told John, I said, I am not going to stop my mouth for anybody. And I'm sure that's hurt me getting shows already or on TV and stuff. But he brought up a good point. You don't need these people anymore.
No.
We have our own platforms. We have TikTok. We have this.
Yeah.
We
You
don't
don't need
need
them anymore.
You can make your own show.
Yep.
Just like we're doing here. I mean,
Yep.
so you don't need these networks anymore.
100%.
And I think TV's starting to realize that.
100%.
They're starting to realize, did you notice when they invited like the TikTokers to like award shows now, the celebrities are starting to get pissed off. Why are they here? Why are they here? Because TikTok is
Yeah.
taking over.
Yeah.
Hollywood movies suck anymore. I don't
Yeah.
know about you guys. They suck.
They're terrible.
They're horrible. You can't even find a movie.
Yeah.
You don't agree?
You guys are because you.
Don's a talent agent.
You're killing me.
Like Nickelodeon
You're
coming out
killing
with
me.
their shit. I have like a kids audition 6 days later. Nickelodeon comes out. All these kids are getting abused. I'm like, this is really blowing up my business.
Yeah.
Then I'm sitting here with someone I value so much. Movies suck. They all your people. I'm just kidding. I agree with you guys.
Yeah.
They do.
You know,
I do.
Dana White, owns, the UFC, and then
Yes.
he's also got Power Slap. I don't know if
Yes.
you've seen Power Slap. So, the media wasn't very nice to him with Power Slap because it, when you first see it,
It's
Yeah.
brutal.
it's brutal, it looks crazy, and the media wasn't really writing about it, and when they were just shitting on it. Oh,
Yeah.
Can I say that or no?
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay. And so Dana started inviting all these influencers to Power Slap before they started selling. It was just invite only; you couldn't buy tickets to it.
Yeah.
So he'd have literally 100 million plus of followers in the
Absolutely.
room, right?
Yeah.
and let them start promoting. He's like, I don't even need the media. Go ahead, shit on it all you want. I got social media behind me. I got these TikTokers,
insane.
Instagrammers.
And I tell you, my form of advertising for my studio now, my studio has blown up, thank God. Like,
Yeah.
seriously, I opened this
Congrats.
studio, and thank you. I opened the studio in January, but I've been in this business for 30 years.
Yeah.
But I opened in January, and I was not apprehensive at all. I said, let's just go. Whatever happens, happens. I'm not, whatever. This is what I'm doing. And because of social media and my following, I think at my grand opening, I think we had like 100 people there. He was there
That's
with
great.
like,
Yeah.
it's never stopped. It's every
Good
single
for you.
Friday night I carry those 100 people plus another 100 people. I had to start opening other days of the week. And you know why? Don't get me wrong. I still do advertising. I still advertise for the media and the things that we're doing. Word of mouth. After a Friday night class or a Tuesday night acting class, these kids, and I call them all kids no matter how old they are, because I work with every age group except for infants. They're all over media, and it just starts trickling in. So a Friday happens, by Saturday, by Sunday, and by Monday, my inbox is filled. I saw what you guys did this weekend on Friday. That's so awesome. How do I join? How can I be a part of this? How can I help? How can I? There's no advertising. These kids advertise for me. They take
Yeah.
pictures and selfies. They're making friends together. They're making movies together, and it's a word of mouth, and they're
And-
doing it for themselves.
And so you're booking kids, is it always kids, or
No, I
so
work
you're booking all
honestly-
ages on like TV?
Television,
film.
commercial, film, print, modeling is where it started for me.
Yeah.
Technically, back in the day, it started in acting, and then it went modeling for decades, and now I'm back modeling and acting both. I cast and book modeling and acting, both singers and dancers as well. Not that many dancers, but more so singers. But yeah, and honestly, it's not young people. I work with the age group most comfortable with 17 and into night.
Got it. I'm gonna send you some people because I know some people out here that
Absolutely.
I didn't realize that there was any like legit
Yeah.
Or hers is
talent
legit,
agencies
yeah.
here.
Oh, yeah, mine's like
that I know that they could service like the local commercials and stuff
Yeah.
here, but like literally like stuff in Hollywood.
the
and-
most of the stuff because I'm New York based. I am New York born and raised.
Got it.
So all of my connections were out there with bigger, higher end modeling agencies. So what I did when I moved out here in 08, I worked the business for a while, had other agencies and stuff like that. This one is just actually new to me. So I do work in New York and LA, Chicago, Miami, anywhere. Do I do work in Las Vegas? Yes. But you know Las Vegas.
Yeah,
We're
sure.
not there yet. We're getting there.
So
I did
you
it 5
you
years.
submit people for
LA,
sitcoms that are
New
going
York,
on, and
everywhere. Well, that's what I'm doing currently. Yeah,
wow,
everywhere.
that's really cool. That's good to know.
She cast
Okay.
The Sopranos.
Yeah, Sopranos, Sex
Really?
in the City.
Do you know
yeah.
Al Sapienza?
I do.
I've known Al forever.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool. I know a lot of people in the business. But out here, it's actually really cool because even though our market's not as big, we are a hub. We're a hub for
Well, and
entertainment.
it's just wait. Yeah,
Oh, I know.
give it
I-
3 to 5 years to
Not-
get it.
Awesome.
Yeah, I say
This
3
is
to
it.
5. People saying by next year, once the studio goes up, and
3
to 5.
Yeah.
But it's also bad. We've discussed this too. What it's going to do to Las Vegas? It's going to
Traffic.
shift what you know of Las Vegas.
Yeah.
See, I came out here in 08, so I still knew like the new Las Vegas.
I wanted to come out here in 08, and I hate that I didn't. I didn't get here till 2017.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm here longer than you then.
Yeah.
I came in 2016.
Yeah.
2016, yeah.
Yeah. So 08 was good, believe it or not. I know that was a hard time for the rest of the country. 08
Yeah.
was great for me. I opened up here. It was fantastic.
I remember I was looking at a Christopher home, one of the builder,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
in 08. It was reduced from 1.2 down to 800,000 because of the crash and everything. And I said, and I had the down payment money. I was like, I should just pull the trigger and do this thing.
Yeah.
I know I should do this.
Yeah.
That house is like $7 million now.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Fail. Another one of my fails.
Don't beat yourself up. Oh, guys, we're going to go on a 2-minute break and we're going to be right back. The show's going great. You guys are awesome. We'll be right back, guys.
Traditional TV is going away. Hollywood is starting to fade. People are demanding real stories from real people. Our voices are now being heard in our own way. Podcasts, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok Live are becoming the norm. Internet TV has now reached the highest demand in human history. Social media shows is now the new media of the century.
Hi, I'm Deacon T with Modern Word Ministries. It's great to be with you today. Just a short little promo for our show. Every Sunday morning we have service, and you can follow us at 10 a.m. Pacific Time on modernwordministries.org. And if you missed us or you want to see some of our older messages, go ahead and check us out on socialmediashows.com every single morning at 9 a.m. It's a great way to kick off your day, get a little bit of the word in you, get something uplifting, get you started off on your way. You know, if you're looking for prayer or you need some help, reach out to us. If you go to our website, again, that's modernwordministries.org, you can interact with me via telephone, via DM, text message, whatever you want. I'll get right back to you. So if you need prayer, you need help, you just need somebody to talk to, Modern Word Ministries is here for you. We are your church in the community. So until you see you next time, be blessed, everybody. Bye-bye.
Welcome to social media shows. Have you been watching social media shows recently? Of course you have. We have been live streaming for 4 years across social media platforms. We produce over 70 shows with over 1,000 episodes. In the process, we've helped over 100 creators realize their dreams and start their own show. We give platforms to promote your business. If you are an artist, if you have an event, if you are entrepreneurs, or if you have a story. If you haven't done it yet, go ahead and subscribe and follow us on major social media platforms. And if you have a great idea of a show, join us. Social media shows can help you produce and live stream your own show. Let us help you make your dream become a reality.
Welcome back, Vegas Views. Dawn Sullivan, Danny Miner. We have an exceptional guest today, guys. I am so beyond thrilled. So we're on commercial break and we're just shooting the shit. We're back and forth talking, and I got the news. I guess I missed it someplace because production and Danny knew, but Danny Miner is back on Vegas Views full time. So I am so ecstatic and so excited. I'm not gonna lie, Danny. I was getting depressed without you. Not that I don't love all the co-hosts and everybody, but I was kind of depressed without you. I'm like, where's my people? Like,
It's because I say crazy crap.
well, I think with you, I met someone a little bit more over the top than me.
Okay.
So it was so crazy trying to be the over top person because I had no one to be like my over the top. Like I look at you like you're freaking insane.
Right.
I get to judge you
Everybody
because you're
does.
whacked out.
Right.
Right. But
Right.
the other people, they weren't whacked out, so I was the whacked out one. It was just not comfortable. So I'm so excited now that you're back. I cannot wait. This is going to be awesome, guys. Every single Tuesday, you guys have to tune in and watch. So we go to Mondays, or we're still on Tuesdays. We're on Tuesdays.
Oh, good.
Tuesdays, yes.
Tuesdays,
So
no.
Tuesdays, log in and watch us again. This is so exciting.
I thought
So
we
glad
were
you're
switching
back.
Mondays, but Tuesdays,
Okay,
good.
Tuesdays.
Tuesdays is perfect for me. But no, I'm glad to be back. I just needed a break. Everything's going so it's crazy for me. You have no idea. Every day I'm doing something.
I can imagine. And
But
you're getting
it's
a
fun.
lot of opportunities in this business and entertainment, huh?
It's stressful though, and I'm sure your dad will tell you. I can't believe
Well,
how
he'll
stressful.
tell you. He's doing
Yes.
24 hours.
Stressful.
It's stressful as
Yeah.
hell. I mean, like I get these opportunities. People, I've probably talked to 25 TV producers, honest to God, in the last 2 years, and no one takes their chance on you. And you think you got it, right? You think this is it,
Yeah.
and then you get shit on.
But you know,
You know?
you can't take it, and I tell this to all talent of mine, you can't take it as you get shit on because everything is exactly how it's supposed to be in this business.
Right.
Things are going to hit. Like, for instance, we just did this movie, and I had a gentleman who was like, nailed this part down. He thought he got this part. It was like 100% go. He got to the chemistry read, and then it was just not for him.
Right.
I know factually it's just not for him because there's something right around the corner that's going to come and scoop him up. It's the
Right.
same thing. you're going to be where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there. So all these other things are just in the path. They're just experiences, and I truly believe that you always end up really where you're supposed to end up.
Yeah, and Danny's just a matter of time.
Oh,
like
that's
it's
waiting.
just
That's a matter of seconds. I've been
100%.
saying that since the day I met
100%,
him.
no doubt.
Yeah.
But I'm running out of time. Like, you feel
Why?
like
You're not.
I mean, I'm
Dead?
55. I'm running out of time.
I used to feel like that with stuff,
Uh-huh.
but now I don't. I've just let that go because it drives you nuts. It'll drive you nuts.
You're
You're not running out of time.
You're
Not at all.
out of time at all. Till you're like dead. That's when you're out of time.
And to anybody out there that's pursuing any of these dreams, you talk to these TV producers, man. You get done with them, and you're like, they hated my guts. Like
Yeah.
you leave there and you think these people hated me, man.
Can I tell you guys something? A lot of people don't really understand this from my perspective, and I just held this big audition in my studio. We want desperately to hire you. We want desperately for you to be the one. When we're booking and casting things, especially movies, television, film, reality,
Right.
we don't want to waste our damn time. So I'm sitting there for 9, 10, 11 hours out of a day.
You want somebody.
Seeing
I know what you
100
mean.
people. I'm praying for these people. I'm like, please let this be the one.
Yeah.
Please let this be the one. I don't want to sit there on that, casting all of that stuff. They want you to be the one. They're on your team.
Right.
So you got to think about it like this. These people want you in this position.
Yeah.
Just
Right.
give it what you have. And you know what? You know why? And I've said this to you before. You're going to be so successful in anything you do. You don't give a shit. Walk into the place like you own it. Not cocky.
Yep.
You're very kind to everybody. And that's one thing that you have over a bunch of people. Some people think, I made it this far, and they get a cocky edge to them. No. Stay humble. Stay nice. But own this place. They're just
Right.
people. They shit and piss just like you. Did I
Right.
say that?
I'm gonna be
That's
totally
great
honest with you
advice.
guys.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be totally honest with you because you know I am cocky. Okay, you guys know I am. This one TV producer interviewed me, and he like blew me up. To me, he blew me off.
Yeah.
I emailed him the next day. I said, "Didn't seem like you like me, but I'm going to tell you this: I'm going to be on TV one way or the other. So you're either going to sign me or somebody else is going to sign me."
Yeah.
And I emailed him that.
What a prick.
Yes, I did. I said, "I'm going to be on TV one way or
You
the
know?
other." That's what I told him.
You know why I don't like that? Okay, I guess because I'm living in a delusional world with my talent a lot of the time. Because I when you represent someone, you expect them to be always on their best behavior. If one of my talent did that, I would be like, you didn't do that. That's disrespectful.
Listen, when I was sending it, I knew you would say that. I didn't tell my girlfriend that either.
But you know what? I would agree with you 15 years ago. But
Now you
now,
don't give a shit either.
no, it's not that. Well, that's true too. But now the game has changed. The game is different.
You are right.
So now
Okay.
you really, it's like I said on the podcast, right? You don't need the middleman anymore.
Yeah.
They are good. They don't realize how obsolete they're about to be.
Yeah,
They don't.
You're right.
They don't realize.
you guys.
Watch Jimmy Kimmel.
Serious.
Watch, like you were talking about Jimmy Kimmel earlier. Right? Pick any of those late night talk show hosts.
Yeah.
Watch the end of the show and watch the end credits.
Yep.
All the people it takes to make the Jimmy Kimmel show, or all the people it takes to make Conan O'Brien, or pick a name,
Yeah.
right? Now, watch the Joe Rogan podcast.
Yeah.
He's got one guy named Jamie. That's it.
Can I tell you something? With media, to agree with you 100%, with media, the same agency and the way I run it currently, I needed 34 employees in 2007 in New York to do this. I do this with 4 employees, my massive studio.
Exactly.
Same thing. Yeah. I needed
Exactly.
a staff back then.
So
Not
yeah,
anymore.
so these
Nope.
people don't realize that they can have fun being the casting director and all this stuff, and the producer and all this stuff.
Yeah.
They may not even have a gig in 3 to 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Absolutely true.
And I think that's why they want to get rid of TikTok. They want to get rid of all these
Right.
things. Nobody's watching the news. We didn't even talk about that. The news is getting killed because of TikTok.
Yeah, I don't do
Yeah.
news.
Nobody watches the
My
news.
is logging onto you. I go right to
Yeah, me
the
too.
news.
I log on and see what everybody has to say on TikTok.
Yeah.
I don't even watch the news.
Yes.
Yeah.
The closest thing I watch to the news is TMZ.
I
I consider TMZ my news
Yeah.
source.
Right.
I love TMZ too, and I need to keep up on my people. I need
Yeah.
to know. I
Yeah.
worry about some of these celebrities too.
I-
We got to talk about it real quick.
Yeah.
This is a bunch of controversy. P. Diddy,
Oh, Jesus.
what do you think?
I don't know enough about it,
Okay.
but where there's smoke, there's fire is probably fair,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I would agree. Yeah, he did it.
That's not what he said. You said it in the most
Listen,
eloquent
If the
fashion.
FBI's if the FBI's investigating, yeah, and they did a search warrant on your house, you did it.
Yeah, that's probably a good pop.
99% of the people the FBI arrests are convicted.
Yeah.
99% of them. So they're not going to make an arrest on somebody. Well, they didn't arrest him yet, but they're not going to do that without having evidence.
Yeah.
They're not going to do that.
How wild is it though? Because if you rewind back to those times when he was super popular, so I wouldn't think. I mean, he wasn't even like one of the tough guys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, he was like
Yeah.
kind of the candy version of rap.
Yeah, I agree with you. He wasn't like this big gangster rapper. Nothing like that.
I told everybody about R. Kelly back in 2001,
that?
2002.
Yeah.
I was telling because
Yeah.
I have a very good friend that worked for him.
Yeah.
Was his assistant.
And you called
And then once he realized what was going on, he quit.
Yeah.
And when he told me, I actually didn't believe him. I was like, really? That seems crazy. He's like, listen to me. And he gave me, it was such specific examples of craziness that was going on. I was like, oh, well, you're not making that up. Like, your brain couldn't make that
The
up.
world
Like,
has shifted and changed so much, and now with media,
Yeah.
and media, the way everything is on media now,
Yeah.
it's almost like all of these skeletons for our entire generation
Yeah.
are being let out. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just awaiting, like, who's next?
yeah.
You know? Like,
And a lot, though, is not fair. Like, there is
Absolutely.
both.
Okay.
You know, like, it's crazy, though. Like, you lose your job over allegations and
yeah.
Oh yeah. That's
stuff.
true.
I mean,
Yes.
it is kind of crazy, but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's nuts. You know, fame and power and money
Yeah.
does crazy things, I guess, to people.
Absolutely.
Well, let's talk about this and get us canceled.
Yeah, what you got?
What do you think about
Now he's back. Let's get canceled.
Trump trial? What do you think?
You know how I feel about him. Don't mess up my boy. Come
Listen,
on.
this is
He's
what I
family
think.
friends. I don't.
This is what I think. This charge, especially
He's a narcissist. Fine.
He
You're
is.
getting that out of me. He's a narcissist. That's all you get.
this charge that they're doing right now with this Braggs that brought these charges, this DA, this is a joke. These charges are really a joke. Honestly, it's a fishing thing. It's a joke. It's like a freaking misdemeanor.
Yeah.
They're charging him with he's not going to go to jail even if he's convicted of this.
No.
It's dumb. It's dumb. They're just doing it to get Trump.
If they really had anything on him, he'd have been locked up a long time.
Yes.
Absolutely agree.
Yes.
I
Absolutely.
mean, come on.
Yep. I agree.
But let's go with this scenario because I truly believe this could happen. He could be elected and be convicted.
No.
Can he? Can he?
Yeah, I think he can.
How?
I don't know. What if he's convicted?
Just pardons himself?
Yeah, I
Can
mean,
you
what
do that?
happens? We are in, and we talked about this on John's podcast. I mean, this is going to be crazy. This is something we never seen before.
Yeah.
This man could be president of the United States and be
He's gonna
convicted.
get elected.
100%.
Yes, I don't think it's going to be close. I think it's a
Be a
blowout.
landslide.
I think it's a
I'm
blowout.
not positive Biden's going to be on the ticket.
Yeah.
He can't talk.
think-
I mean, this isn't me hating on him. He can't talk. He absolutely has. I lost my mom last December. She had dementia for like 7 years. I see the dementia. Like, I just lived through this. And that's not me. I'm not picking on him.
Yeah.
He has dementia. There's no
Yeah.
business. It's weird to me that not one reporter has said, this is going to sound really mean. Forgive.
God, I love
Not
this
one
guy.
reporter has said, in a press conference, Mr. President, can you tell me what day of the month it is, what month it is, and what year it is?
Yeah.
I promise you he doesn't know. And that's not me. I'm really not making fun of him. I just watched my mom go through this.
I might do a video on that.
You know? It's like, I don't know why no one's asking that question. It's
No, but-
crazy.
Well, what happened when you were telling me you were educating me on this? I was busy and hadn't seen it. But Biden said that he wasn't aware enough or something on his trial with the same thing with Trump, and nothing ever came of it. And they were like, "Oh, so you were not
yeah.
but you can
Right.
still run our
The
country."
FBI said, the Department of Justice said they couldn't charge him because he's mentally not competent.
Right.
They're not charging Biden because he's mentally not
Guys,
competent.
guys,
And yet
here-
he's the president of the United States. How the hell was that
I hear
happen?
what Danny's saying.
How the hell was
He
that
said
happen?
our president was not competent enough to stand trial.
Right.
But he can run an entire country.
Yes.
That is
Crazy.
insane.
It's insane.
And I
I'm not saying-
understand why you wouldn't want Trump. Like, I get it.
I get it, too.
He tweets crazy things.
I
He
get it.
says whenever he could maybe bring it together, he nukes the bridge. Like, I get it.
Yeah, I agree.
But I do know this. I had a lot of money.
Me too.
Gas was cheaper. Things were cracking. I was doing business deals. Things were
I
good.
think a lot of people in business feel that way, whether they voted opposite or not. They feel that way. People want their money back. Like,
Hey.
we had money, homes.
We talked about this the other
Real
day.
estate was different. Everything was
If
different.
Michael Rappaport has now flipped to
Yes.
the right.
Rappaport.
He says he's going to vote for Trump now. So did The Rock.
The bench rests, Your Honor.
Rappaport, that's crazy because he.
I mean, Michael Rappaport was going as hard as you
I
could
thought- I
possibly
know him in New
go.
York. Did I tell you that? I know Michael Rappaport.
I DM'd him and I asked him to go live with me and debate me.
Did he read it? Did he see it?
He read it, but he didn't debate me.
I'm in touch with him, Michael.
Wait.
I know.
When did you do this? But now maybe you might want to revisit.
I know.
I say, hey, bro, like I saw you. Welcome. Hey, I welcome you. Let's talk.
We're on the same team. Well, no, you still don't know what you want, right?
Hey, I forgot to tell you, did you see a cat from Fox News is following me?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm so
Yes.
excited about
So
that.
cool.
You know how you can look at somebody and then says you're friends, this means you both follow each
Yeah.
other? I came up, I'm like, oh my god, she follows me. That's the only reason I know.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's funny because there's no way to check to see if any celebrities follow you.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
You
you
just
just
go
have...
down the line, but
Yeah.
sometimes I'll go down the line, and if I see some new followers, I'll be like, oh, okay. Like, I like that.
The only celebrity I saw that commented on my TikTok was Tom Green. Do you remember him?
Yes, of course. I know Tom Green.
Sometimes he'll comment on my,
He
on my
was so
stuff.
cool
Tom
back in
Green.
the 90s.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love Tom.
Loves my dad,
So
Tom.
cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he commented on my thing. I said, hey, I love your work, too.
Yeah, he's a nice
He was
guy.
in Road Trip and that
Yeah, yeah.
Road Trip. Yeah,
Tom Green's
so-
great.
Yeah. But it's weird that celebrities could follow you. You know, it was weird to see that. You know, she's not a celebrity, but she's a Fox News host.
Yeah.
So it was cool.
Joe Rogan credits Tom Green for starting his podcast.
Really?
Yeah, because Tom used to do that. Remember, he had his own little TV show
Yeah.
that he was doing. I was at his studio actually in the Valley in LA.
Okay.
And this was back in 2012 or something. He had Rogan on as a guest, and Rogan was like, "This is really cool. What is this?" He's like, "This is my TV show. I just do it here. I bought the cameras, do this."
Yeah.
And then Rogan, like, the light bulb started going up. Rogan was just talking about this like 2 weeks ago on his podcast. He's like, Tom Green was the gateway to me starting a podcast.
Right.
I have a quick question. Can
Yeah.
I get off topic?
Yeah, sure.
About you, because your stuff fascinates me. So you have your studios,
Yeah.
and you do all these. What are they called?
Podcast.
The podcasts, but they're you were saying big. What do you call
Junkeez?
them? Junkeez.
Yeah, yeah.
How did that come about? You just went from one type of junkie.
So I used to. My background, obviously, grew up in Hollywood. Whatever.
Yeah.
I did stand up. I heard you talking about stand up.
Did you do it?
For 10 years.
No
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, I used to open for Tom. Obviously, I started opening for my dad.
Yeah.
And then I used to open for like Tom Jones, Paul Anka,
That's the hardest thing to do.
Tops, The Temptations,
Wow.
Roy Clark.
Are you funny?
I wasn't, and that's why I had to quit. It took 10 years for them to get on to me. Yeah. Entertainment directors and all these different casinos all over the country, and they were like, I know this might sound crazy, but I was looking at Orlando. What do you think? He's really not that good. And I think, and then they started calling each other like,
Yeah.
not that good. Yeah. And then it just finally, I was like, yeah, you guys are right.
Never in the acting.
Not
game?
that good. I can't audition.
Oh, you
I
got the
can't
dance
handle.
ninja.
You could
Yeah.
give me a microphone tomorrow, and I could go and do stand up.
Yeah.
Man, I would feel totally comfortable. And I haven't been on stage since February 14th, 2002. Was the last time I did stand up.
And I asked you a question. Now,
Yeah,
when you
yeah,
stand up, you had your set.
Yeah,
Are you good improvising, or you had?
that's
your
my
set?
jam.
That's your jam.
Yeah.
You're an improviser.
I actually never
Best
considered
actor in the
myself.
world, guys, just so you know, if you're looking to act or do anything like that, get into some improv training. Monday
Yeah.
nights, my studio. Improv training.
It's
is
so weird.
spectacular.
Like, do you remember when? Do you remember the show Talk Soup?
Of course.
On E Channel.
Yeah.
So, Greg Kinnear was the original host.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then he left, and then there was a bunch of different guys, and then John Henson.
Yes.
Okay, so during that time, they offered me Talk Soup, and I was like, I'm not following in Greg Kinnear's shoes. Are you out of your mind?
Right.
Like, that guy,
Yeah.
he's the guy. Like, I can't.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like I could do better than that. I was like, I couldn't do this. And they were like, just come in, let's just test you out. I was like, no, I don't want to do it. Like, and then I would go on auditions to be just like a host, like not acting, just a
Just the
host,
host, yeah,
right?
yeah.
And they'd always say like, well, what experience do you have like with the teleprompter? I'm like, none, but I've been doing stand up at the time, like maybe for 4 or 5 years, you know?
Yeah.
And they'd be like, yeah, but you have no experience. I'm like, did you just hear what I said? I do stand up. There isn't anyone you're going to audition today that can do what I do.
Yeah.
But trust me, I can do what they do. You're thinking I can't read off a teleprompter? Like, it's so insulting. Like, I promise you, I'll be fine.
I got this.
Like, I'll be fine. Like, I can work live with no net, no cut. I don't have cut.
Yeah.
Right? I have 8 o'clock show.
I don't have
Yeah,
time.
and I'm there from 8 to 8:15, 8 to 8:20. It depends on when my dad decides to hit the stage. Sometimes 8:40, whenever he sees fit, whatever. And I got to just wing it. But at the time I was supposed to go 8 to 8:15. I had 15 minutes of material, and let's say 10 of it was tight stand-up.
Yeah.
5 was crowd work. Well, sometimes as my dad knew I got comfortable in month 3 of doing stand-up, this was in Branson, Missouri. He had his theater, 2,000 people. First time I was ever on stage doing stand-up was 2,000 people.
Wow.
Bill Cosby in the audience. Norman Brokaw, the chairman of the board of the William Morris Agency, in the audience.
So they just
Wayne Newton, Entertainment Tonight filming it. It's my first time on stage ever. Ever. Yeah, no pressure. And I was supposed to do 5 minutes, and I told my dad at soundcheck, I had the mic, and I was like, man, this mic feels weird. Like he was like, what do you want? I was like, a lavalier. Like, I want to be like Jay Leno.
Yeah.
Or, give me a lav. And my dad was like, you won't know what to do with your hands. That's a mistake. And I was like, what kind of stupid shit is that to say? What do you mean I'm not going to know what to do with my hands? He's like, trust me, you're going to hold the mic, and you're not going to know what to do with this hand. And I was like, you sound like an idiot. Like, what does he know? At the time, 40 years in show business. What do you know, old man? Right? So I'm like, I'll be fine, Dad. I got this. So they hooked me up on the lavalier. I hit the stage. I didn't know what to do with my hands. I'm like flailing. I don't know what to do. This was awful. I ripped through 5 minutes of material that I wrote, a procrastinator, terrible student. I wrote the night before. For my big comedy debut, opening for my dad. Talk about spoiled little brat, right? Wrote the material the night before. I ripped through all 5 minutes of my material in 2 minutes, sweating like a pig. Oh, I got a rough. I can't believe he even let me do it. But he was very patient with me and let me go out there every night. And then I got my legs under me, and I got my groove on. But I never felt.
Teleprompter.
No.
Couldn't do it.
Yeah, I could do the teleprompter, but I never felt like a comedian. I actually felt like a guy. I either felt like a host doing comedy. There is a difference, right?
Absolutely.
Or I felt like a guy in a movie playing the part of a comedian when I was on stage. I was never me, because my dad's audience was 65 and up, let's say. I think the stat in Branson was 1 out of every 100 people are under the age of 65, and we had 2,000 people in the audience.
Yeah.
So it was 2 clicks south of knock jokes of what I'm telling on stage. Like, it was like very like hack. It wasn't me. Like, a squeaky clean. So that's not even me. I've been good today for you.
Yeah.
But like, I'm an F-bomb on the podcast every other word, It's just the way I talk in real life. And so I never really felt like me on stage, but yet I had a lot of success. 10 years opening for people like Tom Jones and Paul Anka all over the country. Had a blast. But I couldn't audition. When I'd go in, I had an agent at the time, like, for commercial auditions and stuff. I couldn't do it. Like, I remember I was up for you remember the Dodge campaign? Dodge.
Yes.
Grab life by the horns, right?
Yeah.
I auditioned for that voiceover, and it wasn't until I heard that guy, the campaign they went with, I was like, oh, yeah, like, I don't belong here. I'm not this good. Like, it never even occurred to me, like, change your voice a little bit. Like, yeah.
Growing up in the business, any acting classes, and did you ever gravitate toward one?
What about singing?
No, I can't sing. I can play drums. That's as musical as I get.
Did you try singing? Because just Tony Orlando.
I would try singing in the car back when you had CDs players in the car, and then you'd hit a bump, and it would skip, and you'd be out there all by yourself without Whitney behind you. And I realized, I can't sing. This is terrible. Yeah, I can't sing. Yeah, no good. Yeah, I couldn't audition. I have a lot of respect for actors. Like, to take someone else's words and make them your own, that's a talent.
I agree.
And then to do it in a room like this, and they're just all watching you. You've been on enough auditions now. It's like they just, okay, go ahead whenever you're ready. It's like, wait, you're not going to read with me? Like, wait, what am I doing? Like, are you reading with me? Like,
I give them so much credit. Like I said, I've been in this business for over 30 years.
Yeah.
And when people audition and I tell them, you're crazy, I could never do that work.
Yeah,
ever.
I couldn't do it.
I am not the type of person. I think once or twice Maria tried to hand me a script or something, and I looked at it like, well, what are we going to do with this thing? Like, there's no way. Myself as well. Everything's off the cusp. But I give so much credit to those actors out there. Just even memorizing their script, and becoming somebody else. For me, almost scary. Like, I don't like that.
I feel like that part I could do, and this may be me being delusional, but I feel like if you just gave us the part, I feel like we'd kill it.
I agree. Don't give me lines.
Even reading lines, like, even if I learned the lines, I feel like I could do that, but the process to get there, I'm not the guy. I can't do it.
Right. The process is rough. But if
Yeah.
someone did hand you guys this and say, this is your character,
I could
this is
do
your
it.
character. See, I couldn't.
I could
The
do
thing
it.
is this, even though I'm a really great improviser, I can't get outside myself, if that makes sense. I wouldn't be able to say, oh, you're a woman that believes this, talks like this, acts like this. No. I couldn't do that part. It's scary to me. And I've watched people in the business really train for that. And it's intense. You're becoming another character. Like,
Right.
could you do that, Danny? You're so
Me.
you.
You know,
He could do it.
They said you're this nice.
Who said I'm
I don't
nice?
mean you're nice. No, your character was this nice, meek, quiet, sheltered. Like, could you even pull that off? Like, could
I
you
don't
even
know. I
get-
see that.
Oh, I don't know about
That's what I'm
that, but I
thinking.
know like if he could play like an undercover cop
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
who's got like in a sitcom with a sense of humor, or even drama, but with
Yes.
you know, sarcastic.
Yeah.
Dude, he crushed that role.
Yeah.
He would crush that. I'm one of his biggest fans. I am. I don't just say that.
Listen, I wish you guys were TV producers.
Right?
I mean, I could get you in front of people,
But again-
he was shaky last time. He was like, ah.
But we live in a world now. Come up with a script idea.
That's right.
Go raise a little money.
Absolutely.
Shoot the movie.
Also, that's another thing. People don't realize, and people are going to look at me crazy and be like, well, how does it get done? You don't realize how easy it is to get funded for specific things. If you have a creative idea and someone
Yeah.
else feels like they're going to make money off of your idea, there's money out there, guys.
Yeah.
So if you do have an idea at home or you have something, just try to get it into the right hands. People are looking to invest in great ideas and great shows and
Yeah.
reality shows.
I
I
agree.
just was telling my producer Maria, I had a gentleman this week who full force. He's like, I don't care what it takes. My family needs to be on a reality show. I'm like, well, this is most likely what it's going to cost for my production team. He doesn't care. He wants his reality show. He knows. He has, and I think it's going to be fairly successful. He knows what it's going to take to get him to be successful. So if you have an idea and there's just no money, this world is filled with money. It's easy to, the money part of it's easy to come up with. It's the ideas that are going to stick
Yeah.
that are difficult.
Yeah.
Or the characters. There's not a gazillion of you guys walking around this world. So you know what I'm saying? You're unique creatures. You're not the regular.
I agree with you, and I don't think
Yeah.
you realize that. Like, to do a podcast, people can't do that.
No.
You know what I mean?
I take it for granted.
Speak
Yeah.
online.
Yeah.
Granted,
Yeah.
there's people that cannot do
They
that.
can't do
Yeah,
it.
can't
it's
do
funny when I reach out to people. You know, I DM a lot of people
Yeah.
to
Right.
get them on. You know, and their first questions are always like, "Well, what's the topic?" And then I'm like, "Well, there is no topic. It's just casual chat."
Yeah.
And I think that's going to make them feel better. It's actual horrifying for them.
Right.
Personality type.
Yeah, because they're like, well,
what
and then
are
they'll
we
even
gonna
say,
do?
"I'll say there's no topic," and then they'll say, "Well, but what are we going to talk about?" And I go, "I don't know. I mean, we're going to talk about you." And then they'll be like, "Yeah, but I need to know the subject." I'm like, "There is no subject, you know." And then sometimes I'll say like, "Well, we're going to talk about you." I mean, I'm going to talk about you. You know, and they'll be like, okay. And I'm like, and then I'll always tell them, I'll say, I usually end up calling them. I go, let me ask you this. Do you ever go to lunch, let's say it's a girl, you know, you go to lunch with your girlfriends? Yeah. When are you going to lunch with your girlfriends again? Tomorrow. Okay. Can you send me a list of the questions you're going to ask your girlfriends when you're at lunch? No,
Not
you don't
right.
have one. It's lunch without the food. That's all we're going to do.
That's so funny though, because when we do the show too, if
Yeah.
I'm on with anyone else,
Yeah.
like right before, they're like, okay, so make sure we hit on this. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. Excuse
Yeah.
my language. I'm so sorry. That's so rude.
Yeah,
Cut
it's
that.
okay. They'll bleep it.
And you know what I do? I look at her right before our show and I say, what are we going to talk about? She goes, I have no idea.
I have no clue.
And then one minute,
And that's the best show.
That's what it is. That's the feedback I get on my Instagram
Yeah.
is you and Danny. Just you
Yeah.
never know what's gonna come out. I think that's the good part. Is most
Yeah.
of the time are not. It's what we really feel, and that's
Yeah.
what.
And when you are a podcaster, like we rent our studio out to other
Yeah.
shows, I always tell the first timers when they come in, they'll come in with notes and they're prepared, and I go, you want my advice? Throw that out.
Yeah.
When you're going to interview someone,
Yeah.
don't prepare questions.
Never.
Now, if it's a talk show, like a TV talk show, and you've got a 5-minute segment,
Yeah.
that's different because you need
Yeah.
it tight. But if you're the point of a podcast is like go long, go deep, and when you prepare questions, you miss out on conversation because you're so obsessed with like, okay, now I got to get my next question.
Yeah.
Your guest might say something that could lead to an amazing chat. But you blow it because you just want to ask the next question.
Yeah.
So I always tell like if you're gonna make a list of questions, fine, but be open to only asking 2.
Yeah.
Because it just ended up being a great conversation.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, I agree.
His
100% on
podcast,
that.
follow him on
I
TikTok
would
and
have to
everything.
start, yeah.
His
I
podcasts
think
are really
he's
good on
now,
YouTube.
right?
Yeah,
Thank you.
Love that.
his podcasts are awesome. And I honestly, I'm a big fan of the Bizarre Junkeez.
Austin's great.
I love that because I love that.
So
rap.
I have a,
So wait, to get back to that though.
Yeah.
So you own all these.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Junkeez?
So I never answered. One of my talents is not answering the question. Right. You asked about Junkeez. So when I started Action Junkeez 7 years ago,
Okay.
I knew already that was going to be the first of many Junkeez shows.
Okay.
I kind of saw it as, remember the Blank for Dummies,
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah,
the Dummies
I like
books.
that.
I kind of saw Junkeez as the answer to that.
Yeah.
Not like how-to podcasts,
Yeah.
but just like different categories of subjects.
I love it.
And a series of podcasts
Yeah.
for. So I knew I'd have sports junkies, yoga
what do you have
junkies,
right
golf
now?
junkies.
You have all that
right now.
stuff?
No, right now we have action junkies.
Guys, listen to this. Can you tell them real quick how to get on?
Yeah,
the
yeah,
list
yeah.
here?
So we're on, if you just go to podcast junkies, but I spell junkies Junkeez, because when I started Action Junkies and I went to get the website actionjunkies.com spelled properly, it was $18,000. I'm like, I don't have $18,000 to buy a website. So I was like, well, let me just change the name of the spelling to junkies Junkeez. $11.95 or whatever it was, and the Junkeez brand was born. Yeah. So right now there's Action Junkies,
Okay.
Fitness Junkies, Bizarre Junkies, Gridiron Junkies, which is the football show.
That's a good one. I like that.
Yeah, George does a great job with that. Fitness Junkies, I don't know if I said that. Political Junkies, Vegas Junkies,
Justice Junkies.
Justice Junkies.
I was just on that
Thank
show.
you.
What is
Latino.
Justice Junkies?
He
Like
does crime stuff.
Yeah, crime
I was
stuff,
just
yeah.
on the show with a hit.
Oh, I love
There's
it.
Latino Junkies.
Okay.
There's Content Junkies.
Okay.
And I'm out trying to raise money to do more junkies because I'm out of money. We started, but Bizarre Junkies is a good idea. Is a good example.
We need talent junkies.
One of the guys that started Bizarre Junkies that works at my studio, Austin. He sends me a text. Hey, I want to start Bizarre Junkies. I go, what's that going to be? He's like, true crime, Bigfoot. UFO sightings, conspiracies, this, that, whatever, just weird stuff. I was like, okay, yeah. I only said okay because he was so excited about it. I didn't want to take the wind out of his sails. It's our #1 show now.
Is it really?
Down.
Beats me.
That's
If he doesn't beat me, he's right around the corner from me.
Well, I'll be honest. When I did the
He
show,
beats me following wise. He's crushing
Did
it.
you do
Facebook
that?
100,000.
I did the show at 12:30 in the morning with him.
Yeah.
The other night we were at 12:30.
That was
and
nice. You came back.
There was a lot of people on.
Yeah.
There was a lot. In fact, I want a shirt because I donated money. I want a
Oh,
Bizarre
nice.
shirt. But he was cool. There was people donating money to him, and he was giving shirts. And
Yeah.
it was cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that. And super interactive.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
It's just a perfect example of like, I'm smart enough to know like everyone that works for me is like 21 to 25. And if they have an idea, don't tell them no.
No.
Like they know what
Absolutely.
people want to see.
Absolutely.
You know?
So I have got to ask you then.
Yeah.
Do you have them speaking another language too? Do you work with a lot of males or females? Both?
Both on Latino Junkies. That's only the show's in Spanish.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, I mean like a translation from my generation to theirs.
Oh,
Kids.
yeah. Oh my God! So here's the funny thing.
Learning.
So my buddy Raz, he's an influencer, and he sends me a DM a couple months ago. He says, "Hey, come up to Red Rock," because he's a big blackjack player.
Yeah.
So I'm like, "Okay." I said, "I think I could be there by 10." He says, "Say less," and I go, "All right." I mean, I could probably get there. I could probably get there by like, is 9:40 all right? And he goes. No, I was saying say less. Don't you know what that means? I go, no, what do you mean? He goes, say less is like, say no more, like, got you, like, we're good. I didn't know that was a thing. I thought he was saying, like, say less, like, less time, get here quicker.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
This is a big one.
I had no idea.
The girls, especially in my business, the guys, they're okay, but the girls, the way they compliment each other, it's insane. I don't
Yeah.
even want to say this because it's so, like, insane the way the little phrases and catchphrases instead of like maybe we would understand like you got this girl, good for you, or
Yeah.
something like that. The stuff they say,
Yeah.
I have to be like, are you cursing each other out? What does that mean?
I don't think they use it anymore, but for a while, what on fleek was hot.
Oh, that's like 10 years.
Right, no, I know, but like I
Yeah,
never.
on fleek.
I was
What
like,
is that?
what
Yeah.
was that?
Yeah, no, but
Where did that
I
come
have
from?
to learn
Where did these
a new
come from?
language. They say
Yeah.
slay to everything.
Slay,
So it's
yep.
slay. Oh, these girls, they had to tell me 2 or 3 times because I couldn't understand. But they say once they walk the runway, oh, you ate. You ate. So ate to me is like falling on a skateboard.
Right.
You ate, you busted your ass would be like you ate it, right? Ate means they did so good they ate everything on the plate.
Okay.
So then they say, wait, your face is serving. That means you look beautiful. Yeah, it's a whole new language. I got to tell
Wow.
you. But I know it now.
Yeah, I don't
so
speak it.
some
I'm
girl-
not fluent.
Yeah, no, I'm fluent now. So and so my assistant, she'll be 17. She tells me, I'm telling you, 17 going on 30. I kid you not. Gracie.
Yeah.
She is the most responsible, beautiful model. Gorgeous, gorgeous girl. Has a wonderful contract with Wilhelmina Models now, but she gets to live in Las Vegas and she assists me. So this is her little life. And she just, the conversations are, oh no, that girl's slay, but her face is serving. And what does she say to me? Something about the face checks out or something. Like the check out. And I'm like, at first I'm like, okay, what is she talking about? And now I get it. Like she can tell me like the level of somebody's beauty on a standard. And I'm like, it's wild though. It's wild. They are so different than like back in our day. You can figure out what they're talking about. Now. No.
I'm not even on our website for Sticky Paws for the studio.
You're too
I'm not
old.
even on the website.
I know. No, they'll say, you're,
Yeah.
That's it. And we're old. Isn't that insane?
It sucks.
Yeah. Oh, it doesn't stop. I think it's
It's a
great.
young person's game.
I wouldn't go back and be their age. You couldn't pay me enough.
That'd be rough, wouldn't it, with social media to be in school with the bullying and all that? I don't know how to do it. It's sad.
I like this. This is
Yeah.
good, and then I can watch it from afar. And I'm
Yeah.
also just so grateful in the way that we were raised too. We weren't honed in on these kids.
It's tough.
It's our honed in
Yeah.
on. You do one thing, everyone's filming you.
It's
Everyone's
tough.
a rumor about a kid.
You
It's
can't
not just a
fail.
rumor.
You're failing publicly.
I agree.
It's tough,
absolutely.
man.
It's tougher for the
Difficult
kids
for
than
them.
when we were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
It's difficult.
It's weird. It's tougher for them, but they're softer.
Yeah.
So how is
I
that?
don't know.
How is that
Is he gonna get me
possible?
started on these soft kids?
How is that possible? I don't get it. I really don't get it.
These kids beyond soft. I love you guys if you're watching the show, but
It's the adults that allowed it, though, really, right? The
It's
parents
our
allowed
fault.
this.
Yes, I say that. We raised them.
Coddled them.
it's still like
Right.
your daughter. She's not soft like these young.
No, my
kids.
daughter's
There's no way his daughter's gonna
Yeah,
be
no.
soft.
Nah, she's not.
No, she's so beautiful. Have you seen his daughter?
Yeah,
She's just
yeah.
gorgeous. She's just a
Is that
gorgeous
tough?
kid.
What?
How old is she?
She's 27.
And stunning.
How do you have a
Like,
27-year-old?
My oldest daughter's 31. She'll be 31 in a couple days. My
I
oldest
never
daughter.
saw her. She.
What do they think of you on
She looks like
TikTok?
my ex-wife. Yeah, she's pretty, but she's different. She has darker hair.
Okay, so she's.
But my daughters are similar, but the one has darker hair, one has blonde hair.
What do they think of your TikTok?
Oh my God, John, you're embarrassed of me, of course.
Really?
No, they're proud of me. Don't get me wrong,
Yes.
but I know there's things they're probably like, oh, you know what I mean? I'm sure.
But they probably have friends that follow you.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Some of their friends, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, they follow me.
We were
Yeah.
dancing the other day to what was it? It was AC/DC. Shook me all night long, and I'm like, I just freaking love this guy. I log on. I'm like, you're so much fun. And then I did think, I'm like, his daughter probably.
I get so much hate. Oh my God.
You do?
Oh, the hate I get is.
I see some of the hate, like they'll say, like, "Oh, you're so loud," which is just funny. Like,
Yeah.
what? You don't get it, man. Like,
Yeah.
I do get a lot of hate, but my daughters are like, at first they were like, Dad, don't go on TikTok. You're going to embarrass us, and people are going to say hateful things to you. You know what I mean?
Oh, they were trying to protect.
They were
me.
trying, don't go on it, don't go on it. But then I went on it, and I started getting successful, and this, that. So they support me.
and
my
now you won.
Yeah.
I mean, you won.
They support it. Now my 27-year-old daughter, she wants to be she's a therapist. She graduated from UNLV. She got her master's degree. She's a therapist. But she wants to now start doing content.
I think it's
Really?
hysterical that his.
So she was on my podcast.
I
Did you
think
see
that's
2
so
weeks ago?
funny.
She was on my podcast.
I did.
She did
Yes.
really good.
Yes.
I was proud of her. She did
Yes.
really, really
I
good.
still just
So
get a kick out of the fact that your daughter's a therapist.
I know.
I think she's like, I gotta figure this shit out. Life was crazy with this guy.
I know. But you know what, John? I have a great relationship with my kids. I do. I mean, when your kids are adults and they want to hang with you,
Yeah.
you know you had a good relationship.
100%.
And like the Super Bowl, we went to the Super Bowl party.
Oh yeah, I saw that. You guys.
The one with, what's his name? I can't think of the guy's name. Gus Fiore's tailgate party we went to.
Okay.
We got tickets to that, so we went. My daughter's like, I'm going to invite my friends. You want to go with us, Dad? This and that. So my daughter wanted me to go with her. I mean, to have your adult daughter want you to go with her, it's a good thing.
Yeah.
So you know
That's
you're
great.
a good parent when they do
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
So we got to see Flavor Flav there and everything.
Oh.
He sang. It was fun. It was a good Super Bowl.
That's cool.
I love that.
But
Super
I guess we're about 2 hours in.
Okay.
We're just writing.
Oh,
We're just telling us to
I
cut
was
it
writing
out.
something.
It's 1:50 p.m.
Oh my God. Well, it was fun. We
That was
talked a
so
lot.
much fun.
Yeah.
Danny, welcome back, and thank you so
Thank you.
much
This
for
was
being
fun.
here.
I like this.
You're just epic.
This was
Tell
fun.
these guys one more time how they can get in touch with you.
The podcast is Action Junkeez Podcast, Junkeez, or you can follow me on Instagram, John Orlando. I'm just JON Orlando, and you can find me.
So laid back, so cool. Thank
Yeah.
you so much, Dawn Sullivan _ guys. Other things ramping up again. IMTA New York City. We're leaving July 7th to the 13th. I'm still taking more people. I'm looking for singers. I have a lot of models, but I can use maybe a couple of more. My actors, I can use a couple of more as well. Please get in touch with me, Dawn Sullivan _ or www.risetalentmanagement.com. You can go there, stop by my studio anytime you guys want. 3225 South Rainbow Boulevard, Suite 102. You guys are always welcome. Friday nights are epic, 6 to 8. Are you going to join me sometime in my studio?
I will.
Thank you.
I will.
Danny's going to come back to the studio. Maybe we can get John around
Sure.
as well.
You should see
Rainbow, that's near me, I think, right? Is it
Yeah,
near
I'm
Sticky
Rainbow
or?
and DI.
I'm Rainbow and Sunset.
Okay. Yeah.
You have to come and see his studio.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Nice.
I would love that. So we're going to get some collabs going on here, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in again. And we're super excited to have Danny back. Danny, tell these guys how they can get in touch with you.
At the Crime Solver. I keep wanting to change it. I want to go to the
No,
minor
keep
details.
it.
I don't
Oh,
want
I do
Colmar
like
to
that.
steal the Crime Solver off me.
He-
You know he will. The minute I get rid of the Crime Solver, he's stealing it.
Oh, he will steal it back.
He
Yeah.
will steal it back. Yes, I'm
But
definitely.
I like the minor details. That's kind of.
I like the minor
it's
details.
I do
different.
too, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yep, that's it. You'll see me on TikTok yelling, screaming. That's the way it is.
Okay.
We didn't get canceled today. Thanks, John.
Thank you. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Had a blast.
He kept us
Should-
engaged.
Should I call us out? I'll call us
Call us
out.
out.
We will see you next week at noon. And Dawn will get us canceled because she'll say something bad.
I'm
See you
not
all next
leaving.
week. Bye-bye. See you next week.